Um, so basically, where we left off was after a dicey encounter in the Eye of the Allfather, where you guys visited the Eye of the Allfather to return the giant relics that were asked of you. You got to ask the Eye 6 more questions, and right about the time you were asking the sixth, an unknown storm giant kind of shows up. Kind of shows up in the Eye of the Allfather and is sarcastically repeating the words that you guys know activate the oracle. She even spits on the ground in the middle of reciting these words as she walks towards the statue of the storm giant, where she takes the storm giant's spear and proceeds to go towards the portal, expecting to find it closed, and she would, just like you guys did, tap the spear to the storm giant rune. You guys used a frost rune to access it, but it's the same procedure. And as she's about to do that, she notices that the portal's open, and at this moment, you guys attack her. I remember Pierre was first, and he ran straight out and tried to punch her. And when she realizes that she's under attack, she dispels the sort of shapeshift that she had on her and reveals herself to be Imrith, Doom of the Desert, the ancient blue dragon. You guys wisely decide that this is better to flee than fight, and Harshnag buys you the precious turns that you need to get out. The scene ends with her animating the giant statue of Anam and leaping forward from it, catching Harshnag, right in the chest, and the two of them go tumbling into the portal that leads to the Oracle. You guys run as the Eye of the Allfather starts to crumble and fall around you. Clearly, some sort of protection against desecration of the statue in the middle, and desecrated it was. The entire temple starts to collapse and fall. Your faithful crew on the Dreadclaw, aka Myrna, aka Klauth's airship, is waiting for you and is able to pick you up without too much trouble, and you guys make haste away from the collapsing mountain. Because of your conversations with the Oracle, you now know, without any doubt in your mind, the location of 5 giant lords and their strongholds. As far as you can tell, all 5 of those giant lords are at home in their strongholds. Those are Svardborg in the Sea of Moving Ice, Grudhaug in the Desert Valley, Deadstone Cleft in the Grey Peak Mountains, the Iron Slag in the Ice Spires, and Lenar Mall, the floating cloud castle currently hovering over the Evermoors. You are 100% confident that you know the ability that you have the ability to navigate this airship to any of those locations. And last that I talked to you guys, I heard that the goal was for you guys to fly towards Lenar Mall, hovering above the Evermoors, the fortress cloud castle of Countess Sansuri, who you've heard of before. Does that recap? Does that sound like that's where you guys were?
Yeah. Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so Eric's not coming, Linda's not coming, Darren's not here. I'm trying to stall for him. You guys all get a long rest as you turn this airship towards Lenar Mall. What does conversation aboard the airship look like? What are you guys thinking about and talking about on this journey?
Well, one thing that I just am curious about is, will Fern be just on the boat sleeping for this?
So Fern is with you guys for all intents and purposes, except for combat. In combat, we will not drop a token for her, and I can easily adjust the fights to compensate for that fact. So the mechanical tactics part of the game, there's no change. You guys just play. It's just 4 of you instead of 5. For anything that you want to use an ability that you know that she has, then we get out of combat. We can do that out of combat.
Okay. That sounds good. I suppose we'd probably be talking about what we want to do about these.
Yeah, and if you have also,
dragons.
you do have a dragon cultist, airship, and Averick is gonna immediately, like, as soon as you guys get out to a safe distance, he's gonna be like, what the hell happened? There was a storm giant came by herself and went inside the altar, and then just minutes later, the whole thing was falling apart, collapsing. You guys made it out alive, but I didn't see. Weren't you with a giant? Wasn't there her? What happened?
Yeah, so there was a giant.
Go on.
Yeah.
And best guess is there is no longer a giant.
Yeah, I don't think.
It was max rank stuff.
Yeah,
Max
you
rank.
guys really are max rank. That's the whole mountain just collapsed because you guys left. That's crazy.
We decided we were done with the place and summoned a dragon, actually, to...
A dragon?
Yeah, we summoned a blue dragon, an ancient blue dragon, to come destroy the temple for us since we'd finished with it.
An ancient blue dragon. The only ancient blue dragon around here is Imrith.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Wow.
Imrith is here? Klauth is not going to like that.
Well, I didn't want to summon Klauth. He's got more important things to do.
If Imrith is here, Klauth should really know about it.
Well, whether or not Imrith is here at this point is debatable.
She's, Imrith is a powerful sorcerer, perhaps Klauth's only equal. Well, Klauth is better, of course, but she's a powerful sorcerer and a shapeshifter.
Well, I know everything about dragons because we're max rank, but I want to test your knowledge. How likely is it that an ancient dragon can survive a mountain crashing on top of them?
Good. I'm sure Klauth could survive it. Imrith is a powerful sorcerer.
What if
just like you, sir?
That's true. I survived it, so if I survived it, then dragon may have been able to as well.
Yeah, she's 1,000 years old.
Well, then there's probably a dead giant somewhere in there, and no trace of a dragon.
Yeah, I'm guessing she got out some way similar to how we got out with what's our buddy Fuglos.
Well, that's his special ability.
Sure, but I'm guessing 1,000 ancient dragons, 1,000 dragons are gonna have some out. Like if you're capable of making an out, I would imagine they would make an out.
They're gonna know some knowledge.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Yeah, he kind of, Fabric kind of looks at you like, not quite sure that you really summoned Imrith. But definitely knows Imrith, and he reiterates that Imrith and Klauth are massive rivals, both in like a spellcasting prowess, but also just like they hate each other. They hate each other. Imrith is a powerful shapeshifter and has a larger brood than Klauth. Imrith has 2 adult children.
How come they hate each other?
They've been rivals. They've been rivals for longer than I've been alive.
So they forgot what their tiff is about.
Well, Klauth doesn't talk to me about that kind of thing.
Oh,
Someone probably stole someone's sheep.
a should probably talk to them and see if they consider meditating to calm down.
The dragons?
Yeah.
Well, Klaus has invited you to his veil, but he prefers that you finish the task that he's given you.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Guys, what was that task again?
Yeah.
You know what? Remember that Klaus gave you this airship such that you can turn the giants back, that you can foil the plans of the giants, the dragon's ancient rivals.
Of course.
Yes.
The
Yes.
giant activity throughout the north troubles Klaus, and he has found you worthy of this gift such that you can deal with this problem.
Guys, I don't really know how to feel about Klaus. Fern wrote bad on her notes about him, but he seems alright to me.
Yeah, why don't you go see Klaus yourself? Get to know him, personally.
He prefers that I finish the task that he gave to me and my team.
And Fabric says, that is the one place that I have been forbidden from taking you until you finished your quest.
Yeah, but where exactly is that?
That's the Clouthen Vale. That's he starts to describe Clouth's territory, and he's describing that it goes all the way from the Sea of Moving Ice through the spine of the world, past Great Worm Cavern, but Clouth's throne is in the Clouthen Vale, just south of Bryn Shandir, in the top left of your map. I have that marked in red for you guys.
Clouthen Vale. There it is. Great.
And he describes the Clouthen Vale, and he says it's the best. This is where we built the airship. It's tall, beautiful mountains surrounding an eternally warm, grassy oasis among, the darkness of the spine of the world, and with springs and glades and beautiful rock formations. And Klauth likes to sit atop these mountains and gaze down into his vale, that all know as the Clouthen Vale.
Sounds like a pretty cool spot.
Yeah, it's super cool, and he starts to geek out on Klauth, and he says, "Did you know that Klauth knows how to use 6 wands at the same time? He has them on his wings. He has 6 wands of power, and he can use them all at the same time."
That's pretty cool. I can use 2 staffs pretty close to the same time.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's not as cool as Klauth.
I mean, debatable.
I'm wondering, if we should maybe there's a way that we can do here. Charades amulet, or whatever it is, charades thing, to find out if, we should worry about Imrith right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't mind asking, I suppose, but I feel like she probably went home.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, they teleported somewhere to get into the Eye of the Allfather. We don't even know if that part of the thing collapsed. And then who knows where she went from there.
True.
Wait, what are you doing about checking in on Imrith?
Talking about possibly you using your charades device.
Oh, gotcha. I mean, that is... I'm able to ask it whether or not an action is a good idea. So what kind of action would we ask again?
Not worrying about Imrith.
or preparing for her attack or something. I don't know. But Chad's right. We probably don't have to worry about it. We could also probably use it in our planning of our approach to Linamon.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, so you haven't told Fabric where you're going. He's just kind of pulled you guys out to a safe distance from the Eye of the Allfather.
Yeah.
He's kind of like halfway between the Eye of the Allfather and Great Worm Cavern on your map. You know, very curious about what happened in there, but you guys shrugged him off a little bit. Told him the story about Imrith. He talked about Imrith for a little while. He talked about Klauth for a little while.
Yeah.
But otherwise is giving you guys space and kind of waiting for your command on where to take this airship.
Well, we are now looking for...
Basically, we want to go towards the Evermoors.
Yeah, I think that we should head towards the Evermoors.
Okay.
The
Oh, right,
Evermoors
right,
aren't
right.
water, right?
Huh?
It's
The Evermoors are not water. It's a very jagged mountainous place. Remember Thousand Needles from WoW?
Yeah.
Think about Thousand Needles when you think
Like a
about
bunch
the
of plateau, broken
It-
rock
Yeah,
formations.
it itself is raised on a big plateau,
Yeah.
and then on top of it is a whole bunch of uneven platforms and rocky structures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of them are large enough that they could have structures on them. Some of them are not. You guys have heard, we talked about this a little bit before. Someone rolled history on the Evermoors. There many civilizations, many kingdoms have tried to lay claim to the Evermoors, but there's ogres and giants and
Ogres!
the natural climate is just so difficult that no one in any recent time has been able to sort of establish a stronghold in the Evermoors. It's just too mountainous. It's too hard to get supplies there. It's too hard. It's just too hard. It's not worth it.
Okie doke.
Except giants.
Unless your castle floats.
That
Right.
would help.
Alright. Well, wait. Did we... I forget. Did we settled on going to tackle cloud giants?
Yeah, Fern, I think, was most about it because she was concerned for the soul of that poor betrayed giant. And then we were also, for lack of a better word, demanded that we do Iron Slag as well so we could get our castle fortress built for us afterwards.
I mean,
Yeah,
I want
you guys
to
are totally.
hit up all of them. As
I mean, I'm
Pierre-
fine with that too.
Yeah, Pierre wants to hit up all of them. He's like on this fantastical adventure, expanding his horizons from being a farm boy monk.
Right, and there's some purpose. I don't want to understate what you guys felt when you talked to the Oracle. You weren't directly talking to a god, but you were as close to that as you can sort of imagine. You were in an ancient temple, thousands of years old, and you were told by a representative of a god, of a civilization that's older than any of you know the history of. And that they sent you on a quest and they asked you to do this. And this is a big fucking deal. Also, Harshnag, who you interacted with, is a hero. Even if you guys haven't heard so much of his stories, he was wearing accolades and armor and things that showed that he was a hero of Waterdeep. So you have, and not to mention, Tribor has burned to the ground, the city that you guys kind of started this adventure in. So you guys have, all of you should understand the gravity of, the sort of quest that you're on. Absolutely, the I told you that you only need to do one of these, but all of them are pressing threats to the kingdoms of men and elves and dwarves, and you're welcome to visit as many of them as you'd like.
Yeah, it just sounds like there's a bad group of leaders in giant kind these days.
Yeah, gotta clear them out.
Something that you were just saying reminded me that maybe on our trip to Lenar Mall we could draft a letter to Waterdeep informing them of Harshnag's heroic death, since he won't be returning there.
Yeah, Absolutely. That's great. So you want to send a letter to sort of like the Lord Commander of Waterdeep, the Open Lord of Waterdeep, as they're called.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Waterdeep has two groups of leaders, right? There's a single elected Open Lord, and then there's sort of like an appointed council of the Masked Lords who don't reveal their identities. They don't like. If you talk to one, you wouldn't know that they're a Masked Lord. They meet in secret and they wear masks when they do. So you guys know who the Open Lord is. You wouldn't know who the Masked Lords are. One of them is Omendron, but you don't know that.
Right. Is he in the same time period as us?
He is actually. He is current. They just finished. I mean, it's very close, right? They just finished dealing with the Storm King's Thunder content and have moved on to Tomb of Annihilation. So the acting games are about 2 years ahead of you guys. But he's been active for 10 years, so he exists and is a Masked Lord of Waterdeep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, when I talked to Gabe or Gem Dark Magic at PAX, I asked him where Gem Dark Magic might be around this time, so that you guys maybe could run into him.
That's
awesome.
He had a great answer.
So,
That's amazing.
go on.
No, it might happen. I don't know.
Who knows?
And I asked Jerry Omendron to name magic items for my party that accompanied.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Not for the party that didn't accompany.
Oh.
I didn't have a ton of time. I wasn't gonna ask him to write 6 magic items. down
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, yeah. So you guys kind of turn this. You guys write the letter. That's cool. You talk about Harshnag. You talk about what happened. What do you talk about in the letter? Do you talk about Emrith?
Yeah, I mean,
What do you say?
We gotta make sure that they know that we didn't kill Harshnag. And
What do
not
you-
many things could.
What do you say about Emrith?
We were ambushed by Imrith in the Eye of the Allfather, and Harshnag sacrificed himself so that my allies could escape. I did not need his help, but my friends did.
Cool. And so you were ambushed at the Eye of the Allfather by Emrith. Do you talk about the forms Emrith took? Do you talk about what she anything? Like, how much information about Emrith, about the encounter, do you get?
I think Morno would probably not talk too many details. Just we saw what appeared to be a storm giant approaching. Turned out to be Emrith at the GTFO.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone else would add to the letter, but that would be what.
And this is a letter addressed to the Open Lord of Waterdeep, who is a high-ranking member of the Lord's Alliance.
You?
Yeah, I'll just say, still have not killed storm giants. In there.
Still have not what?
Killed storm giants.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
We're like almost like signing it like birthday cards
Yeah.
at the office, like our own messages.
I put a smiley face.
Remind me what they told us about the storm giants, like not to kill them, or
She had hit us up because there was a report that they were like some people were like killing storm giants in that island or whatever, the whale
Yes.
bones, I think, or something.
Yeah. Harshnag corroborated this story. I think you guys caught that, so I don't mind mentioning it.
Yeah.
A member of Storm Giant royalty was found dead in the whale bones, and the Lord's Alliance is the prime suspect in this murder, as the Storm Giants would call it. So they claim that tabarded knights of the Lord's Alliance are the ones that committed this act, and are very mad about it. The Open Lord of Waterdeep called Pierre. That was the session that he missed. Called Pierre to an audience and said, "These are the only thing. The Storm Giants are the only tenuous allies we have in this conflict." And allies is a super strong word for what it really is. historically the storm giants have kept the smaller giants from attacking the civilizations of men, and now the storm giants believe that we killed a member of their royal court. Very concerned about it. They're interviewing every active adventurer who's a member of the Lord's Alliance to figure out who the fuck did this thing. This investigation was happening in private, but you've heard recently that from the Harpers that the Harpers have been asked for their help in the investigation as well. The Lord's Alliance denies that this was them, but is holding an investigation because obviously they don't know the actions of every adventurer who is a member of the Lord's Alliance.
All right. Did Pierre say that we haven't killed any yet?
That's what he wrote in the letter, and that's why he was summoned. She said, "Do you think this is a fucking joke? Because it's not a joke. It's a very serious situation, and I need to make sure that you understand that the storm giants are the thin wall that protects us from the kingdoms of giants."
But now they have fops.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a new wall in town.
And you don't even have to pay for it. Well, actually.
I mean, you do definitely have to pay for it. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think we're heading to Linar Mall.
Okay, that's great. So it looks like the reason Narek is late is because he's trying to fix my house.
Oh.
So
Well,
okay.
Austin, way to be the reason.
So
dude, we went over there. I'm stalling while I'm setting up the map.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. we went over there and the previous tenants fucked it up, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucked up. But the good news about it, like it needs all the carpet needs to be replaced and the bathtub needs to be replaced and all this shit. But the good news is that Narek's letting me and Linda help pick out all the stuff that he's going to replace it with.
That's awesome.
Because why not, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's within reason.
Right.
And so it's kind of cool. Like it's kind of fun for us to be able to pick out. Oh god damn it! That's the opposite of what I wanted to do.
Furnish your own.
Fuck.
Furnish the house basically yourself, even though you're renting.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah,
it's not something that like you always get to do, and so it's really cool to us to be able to do it. Anyways, so he's having a plumber come out because apparently the house didn't have a washing machine, and I'm a fan of washing machines. There's some arguments about it in the group, but I'm a fan of washing machines.
who doesn't like washing? Like sturdy clothes or what?
No, not not washing machines. Sorry, dishwashers. My bad.
Dishwashers. I see.
I'm a fan of them.
Me too.
I wish I could have one in my apartment, but I don't.
They're all right.
Anyways, I'm getting one installed because it's a requirement for me.
Yeah. Are those spaceships too now?
I'm gonna get a really cheap ass one because Nark's paying for it.
That's fair.
Okay,
hey.
so what's up?
I was just gonna randomly, since we were delaying just now. This is the set I got.
Oh, you got dice.
Nice.
Yeah. This
Nice,
one's
man.
mine. And then I got Kelly steampunk set.
Of course you did. Of course she got a steampunk set.
That's really cool. Yeah, it was kind of fun. We played a little bit of D&D on the trip, right?
Yeah.
And Janelle was playing, and we bought her a giant D20 because her eyes suck, and it's this like enormous D20. It's kind of cool that there's like a dice set for everybody.
What do you mean enormous? Like, is it like a basketball size?
No, they do make them that big, but no,
Oh
it's
my
just
God.
like maybe four times larger than.
Oh, I see.
They roll those sometimes.
Also, yeah, they roll the big ones on hacking because they have cameras on it. Fuck, what was I gonna say? I had something really cool.
I don't know.
Anyways, you guys are en route to Linar Mall. and I just want to talk about what you see as you approach Lenar Mall, because I'm pretty much ready for you guys here.
Like trees, rocks.
You guys find, and you guys need to talk about how you're piloting. Fabric is here.
Nice to show up.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
They say hi. She says hi back.
On the first night, I want everybody to get together and drink a ton for Harshnag.
Oh yeah,
Oh
for
yeah,
sure. You guys
pour
all
one for the homies.
pour it out for Harshnag.
Well,
Yeah.
unmuted.
Yeah, no, that's super cool, and everyone participates, all the crew.
They're like, the crew's like, we don't normally drink for giants, but
Yeah. So, as you guys are coming in towards Lenar Mall here, as you get closer, you feel like, again, it's just like it's in you, right? You know, like from a divine compass where this place is, and you realize that it's up above the mist and the clouds that kind of sit always over the Evermoors. That there's it's up above the cloud level, up above the Evermoors. It's at least a mile from the ground, and we're talking about the ground is already elevated. The ground is already elevated in the Evermoors, and so it's up above the sort of the clouds here, and you guys are maybe you feel in your heart that you're about 10 miles away, but you're still sort of under the cloud level. You've been flying at a comfortable level, you know. You're not like soaring up like a 747, although you feel like you may need to here. About a mile, right? So that's what it's 5,000 feet, 6,000 feet. This is sort of where you are. You feel like you're about 10 miles away from the cloud castle of Lenar Mall. You can't see it because over the Evermoors there's pretty thick mist and permanent clouds, and you feel that the castle is about 10 miles to your east and higher than you currently are, sort of through this layer of clouds.
Yeah, rumors that eating
Well,
Given our last state, I'd like to.
You got it.
she's mocking you.
Go ahead, Dan.
To keep up the primeval awareness, looking for dragons and I guess also beasts because it does it while we're sailing along.
Yeah. So what's the range on that?
5 miles.
Okay, so you guys are still about 10 miles away from Lenar Mall. The only things you're picking up with that is stuff on the ground, beasts, no dragons on the ground currently, birds in the air, that kind of thing.
Well, I can have detect magic on like perma right now, so
That's 30
Yeah.
feet, right?
yeah, it's no range at all. But
Okay, just checking.
I can tell if anything magical appears on the boat.
So,
Okay.
is there?
Anything magical on the boat?
Yeah.
Just your guys' fucking loot.
Yes, magic items on the ship.
And the 2 elementals.
Yeah, and the 2 elementals. That's fair.
That's it? But we already knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we know about Lenar Mall?
Yeah, what?
We
What do
know
you know
it's the
about Lenar
cloud giant city.
Floating castle. Stop it, Thor.
Shit. Alright, hang on. I have to pull up my notes here.
Yeah, so again, you guys are 10 miles out of Lenar Mall. You don't see it, but the air above you is covered in a thick mist and cloud formation that's sort of obscuring your vision of anything that would be above you.
Yeah, and Sensuri lives there. And I mean, we really don't know much about it. I think just because like no one really knows much about it, because like
Yeah.
no one goes
We
there.
know. The eye said that, or not the eye. I think the ghost. I don't know. Someone said that the best method of attack would be to try and capitalize on the dissenting opinions within the Cloud Giants.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so you guys are at about 10 miles out. You guys are sort of debating this below the cloud level, what you're going to do, and you hear a crack of lightning.
No dragons still?
No.
Some lightning around here, guys.
Oh, thanks,
And
sorcerer. I didn't
No
see
problem.
it myself.
Wait, can Fern inspire us?
Yeah, for sure. You guys get it.
What is it now?
She's 8th level, and I believe she's taking a feat, which means that she still only has 16 charisma, so 8 plus 3 would be 11 life.
They see me rolling.
So we're still 10 miles away when we hear this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cast Mage Armor.
Guys,
Yeah, Darkham loads up the front gun and mans it.
Sure. The crew, there's plenty of crew on board. They help you load and sort of ready it. It's just up to you to aim and fire.
Yeah.
guys, the weather
And you guys
seems
tell me,
a little
I'm
dicey.
purposely not approaching the castle any further than 10 miles so that you guys can talk to me about your approach.
Okay.
And ask me any questions you have about what you see. You know, below you are the Evermoors, these
Right.
sort of jagged, cliffy areas. Above you is this thick cloud and mist coverage, and you can't see above you. Maybe in little bitty pockets here and there you see blue sky, but for the most part it's this shifting gray.
Um. How should we approach it? Let's approach it from above.
Yeah, I mean,
That's where they least expect it.
And then also
Yeah.
like sort of like time of day, you know, these kinds of questions.
the only
You know the questions I ask you when you guys are sieging a castle, right?
Yeah. I think from above is a good idea.
we
I
know.
would say at night's probably a good idea too, right?
Yeah, probably. We know that the item that we're looking for is probably in the highest tower, right?
Oh, okay. I don't remember that. But okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah, so you guys heard when you guys sort of your quest was to collect a conch of teleportation, right? A conch shell of teleportation.
Right.
Yep.
And when you were researching that, the Oracle told you that you could find it in multiple places, one of which was Lenar Mall, and it did say, search the highest tower.
All right.
It's in a secret chest.
So it seems to me that there's really two basic approaches. We could be as sneaky as possible, approach from like directly underneath, so that they have the least visibility on us or line of sight on us, and get in there and try to gain some allies. The other approach is to drop down from above, and since it's the highest tower, we should be able to get there directly.
I'm curious how you would plan to gain allies among Cloud Giants on the Cloud Giant Castle.
Well, they said there's dissenting opinions
Yeah.
from the leader.
Yeah, I just, I think, because we don't know which one we're going to be talking to first. Like, that's a toss-up. We don't want to talk to someone who wants to kill us and then alert the whole castle that we're there.
Yeah, I
think we
mean,
should try
if
sneaky
they
first.
disagree with us, we just kill them. And then we
Yeah,
go
but
to the next
there's going to be
one.
like fireballs flying and noise and all that.
Once once we get rolling, we're not very sneaky.
Okay.
Um,
So you want to come down from the top and try to just hit the highest tower from the top?
Yeah, and I can. Let's see.
Wait, does Mornal now have fly and dimension door? Can you just like fly in super fast?
I do.
And then dimension door the
I
fuck
do.
out?
I'm gonna need to repeat this when Fern is here, but I had a good lore reason for Dimension Door. I wanted to tell her that I was very disappointed with how she handled the heist, and as a result, I willed myself into being able to have Dimension Door as well.
I'm sure she'll get a kick out of that. I think Fern is a closet Mornal fan, so.
Oh god! Don't tell Mornal that.
I definitely talked about how he's converting her into liking nice things.
Yeah, I mean there's a meal that she really enjoyed. You know.
Luxury, high thread count, silk,
Luxury, it's good.
silk blankets.
So, depending on how big this conch is, I could try to do something where I dimension door out with it, but if it's bigger than me, I can't get it through the door.
That is the other question, right? It is a conch for giants. How big? It could be.
Yeah,
really
I mean
big.
their faces are as big as us, and conch shells are generally as big as our faces. So,
Or
Wow,
bigger.
that's There you go. There's some logic.
from Mornal.
I have levitate, so if it weighs less than 500 pounds, we can float it, so that shouldn't be a problem.
We could also use,
Matter.
use the bag of holding, just kind of like shove it in there.
Yeah, how does that
Bro?
work? Can something of any size get in?
It has to be smaller than. Yeah, I mean, within reason.
Can we smash it into little parts and then put it in the bag and then mend it later?
You guys, if that's a serious question,
Yeah.
you guys have not really heard of magic items breaking that way.
Huh.
Like, breaking a magic item is something you guys wouldn't even know how to do.
Shit.
You don't just smash it.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly try. It depends on the level of enchantment on it. But like the magic items that you guys are carrying, you'd think that could survive quite a bit. You would have to put some magic behind your approach. You're not just gonna hit it with a hammer, like your oath bow or whatever. You're not gonna hit that with a hammer and crack the wood.
My fists count as magical weapons. I could punch it a lot.
They do.
One sec, I gotta take a phone call.
Okay, so down to 2 players, and we'll take a pause while he takes that phone call. But you guys feel free to keep talking about what you guys want to do.
Yeah, strategy wise, I'm still thinking about it. I think from the top has got to be the way we go. Do we want my next question though is, do we want the ship to get anywhere near the castle?
I mean, how do we get on otherwise?
Spells, but it does start to bleed me of some spells before ideal.
You're gonna ferry people on, or what?
Well,
I don't know. I think that's I see what you're saying, but I think that's dangerous. I mean, so is idea.
I don't want them to pop our balloon. But,
Yeah.
I mean, if we approach at night, they might not be able to see it anyways.
Yeah, I could put the whole balloon under a cover of stealth.
Can we stealth in midair?
Yeah, let me see. What's the wording on that? And let's see what Austin's ruling is on it.
Yeah. So pass without trace makes you a little harder to see. But if someone's looking for you, they'll roll against you. It gives you +10 to stealth. Being a red balloon against a blue sky is probably at least disadvantage on stealth, if not like an automatic low roll. But it's certainly more beneficial than not doing it.
So we could definitely try it.
I mean,
You guys are debating, this situation again, and you hear a crack of lightning.
what's going on? Can we go up so we can see above the clouds?
Absolutely, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Out at 10 miles?
Do pass without a trace, and let's kind of like stay right in the cloud coverage area and just poke our heads above. We can climb up to like the crow's nest.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Put Fabric's piloting skills to the test.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. He thinks he can do it.
Cool. Then let's do that as our plan.
Okay, so you pop up at 10 miles, right?
Yeah, we'll start there.
Oh yeah, I think we should just go up there.
Okay, so as you kind of poke your head above the clouds, you see that the clouds are pretty thin for the most part over the Evermoors, except in a bunch about 10 miles away from you. And from this bunch of big, puffy, white clouds springs a castle. An enormous castle. And I'm going to show you a picture of it. And so you guys are looking at this from the bottom, but this is the only picture I have that I can share with you guys.
Sure.
You see that it's sort of 3 circles all together, a bridge that leads out to sort of you guys have seen castles before. It's a gatehouse essentially. It's a place that visitors would go through first, right? And then the guards there would determine whether the people could come through. There's a massive gate on the side of the bridge with the 3 circles, and there's a cloud staircase that goes down just to the surface of this sort of pool of clouds that the castle rests in, from the gatehouse. Like, you would climb these stairs and you would be at the gatehouse. Around the 3 circles, ringing the sort of 3 circles there, you see large metal cylinders mounted to the parapets and pointed in different directions. From this angle, that's probably kind of what you get. Flying, well, give me perception. I'll talk about. You see specks in the air, kind of flying around the castle proper. Above it, a few below it, some at the levels of the rings.
You say you want perception checks from us?
Yeah, but Dan got it. You see, they look like bird people. They're humanoid-sized. They have arms and wings. They are armored and carrying spears, and they're flying in nearly perfect circles at different radiuses and different heights around the castle.
I'm sorry, what are they again?
They're bird people, for lack of a better word.
Bird people. Interesting. And what? It's a big time right now?
What time do you want it to be?
Well, if we're gonna approach, I think I want to wait till it's nighttime. Does anyone? I mean, no one's agreed or disagreed with me on that yet, so I don't know how our group feels.
Sure. Yeah, we can. You guys are safe where you are. You feel like you were successful in sort of peeking. You don't know how long you can stay there, but you guys got the handout with the bird person on it, right?
Yeah.
That's what you see, sort of flying in near perfect circles at different levels and different radii around the cloud castle, which you assume to be Len Armal.
The one doing the biggest radius around it, how far out is it going?
About a mile.
So it's guarded up to a mile away, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. So these guys peeked. These guys peeked up among the clouds. It was pretty cool. They passed without trace. They peeked the top of the crow's nest up above the clouds.
Okay.
They saw a castle springing up from the clouds, resting on a pillowy, a thicker region of the clouds below.
Okay.
They see at least a dozen of these bird people flying holding patterns, circles around Lin Armal at different heights and altitudes. The furthest ones from Lin Armal about a mile out. They see that the structure of Lin Armal is mostly 3 large cylindrical structures with a bridge leading out to a gatehouse, like what you would see on a traditional castle, where guards would lower or raise a gate to allow access to the castle.
Okay.
And that's, you guys are looking at it from the bottom, so you can see in the picture that there's some lawns. You might assume that, but you haven't seen them yet. And you see, sticking on the parapets of the castle, you see these metal cylinders pointed in all sorts of different directions. There's 3 each on the 3 circles at their highest level.
So the bird people are like...
Human-sized, if that was a question.
So they're like the seagulls of this castle?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like circling and... Are they looking
think
for
so.
breadcrumbs?
And you guys are still about 10 miles out.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's. I have like a meta question here. Do we push this forward without Narek?
Yeah, I think we can. It's fine. We're gonna play. Like, otherwise we don't play, right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Then I say that we wait till nighttime.
Here, I'll ping him right now and see if he's here.
Hey, question, Austin. If I wanted to cast a staff spell at a higher level, how would you charge me on that?
You can't.
Okay.
The staves are pretty powerful as they are. I don't need to give you new tricks with them.
Yeah, Chad. Jesus.
Listen, it's my job to figure out new tricks. It's his job to say yes or no.
Right, that's totally fair.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great question, but I say no. If I want to add that ability to a future staff, I will.
You reserve the right. Can you
I'm just
climb?
giving Narek like 2 seconds to answer, and then we'll play with that.
Yeah.
Can you climb like a spider yet, Eugene?
No, that's
Here.
level 9.
Man, you are so useless.
But you can spider climb, and I can swap with you.
Yeah. I just want us to all be able to go at once.
I mean, I can swap on a reaction, so...
Wait, what was your plan, Chad?
Oh, so I'm kind of suggesting a new plan, which would be to kind of go through the clouds where we're not so visible up to the bottom of the castle, and then climb up the castle to the top. So I feel like that would be way less chance of at any point of being seen by someone just looking around.
I'd like to point out that you're suggesting that we go through the clouds to attack the cloud giants.
No, not attack.
Just say hi.
Are you thinking that they can sense us inside of clouds?
Not that they could necessarily sense us, but if they have guards patrolling the air, there's got to be something patrolling beneath. Like that would be silly for you to just be unguarded from the bottom, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I
see
mean,
what you're saying. I'm
So-
picking up what you're putting down.
so with your idea, we come in from the bottom, and we from that picture where we go to the first level and we try and get in there. Or do we?
Yeah, sorry, I closed it. Can you share it again, Austin?
Yeah.
It's in there. It's in your journal under player handouts
Oh, I see it. Yeah. So
at the bottom, probably.
you're saying we go through like those double doors at the bottom?
Under player handouts, scenes and locations.
I mean, I'm not gonna go hardcore with what this looks like. I'm just gonna say, do you think we should go to the base level, or should we try and scale the wall?
Yeah, so my suggestion was scale, like, if we do it the way that I am imagining, is to go up kind of inside the clouds to where we're next to the wall and then scale the wall.
Yeah. What you guys kind of can see from where you are, but not so much in this picture, is that on the other side of that gatehouse, which is that little pointy, the two pointy cones, right?
Right.
On the other side of that gatehouse is a cloud staircase that comes down and turns and sort of arrives onto a small platform made of puffy cloud.
So are we going to make a grand entrance?
No, that's not by any means. I mean, like on the side of one of these big round ones and scale the wall.
Okay, just scale the wall, just us, or have the balloon take us up and then peace out.
I would say scale the wall just us and leave the balloon kind of down in the clouds where it's not noticed.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea because if we need an escape, we can just jump in the clouds where we think it is.
Yeah, and we
Go for the best.
right. Pick us up.
Make sure we do the barn owl hoot.
Toots.
That's the barn owl. Yeah, and then if we can approach slowly enough to see if there's guards in the clouds too, hopefully.
We can't
Okay.
pretty much through the clouds, right?
So talk to me about what you're doing.
I mean, is that the thing that the thing?
I'd like to pull out my spyglass and get a little bit better look if there's anything more to see, to tell.
Okay, so you pop up. Are you still at 10 miles?
Yeah, still 10 miles, but pop out the spyglass.
You look through the spyglass and you look at the castle and give me a perception roll. With advantage, you got a spyglass.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so you're looking up from underneath, right?
Yeah.
So that sort of glass dome in the picture that you see. Do you see that glass dome, the one kind of closest to the camera?
Yeah.
That looks to be like a greenhouse. You would think that's a greenhouse.
Greenhouse?
Yeah, like you would grow plants indoors.
Like a marijuana growing house.
Oh yeah.
Like that, except with natural light instead of fucking UV light. You see on the sort of rings around, like I talked about on the rings around the castle, that there were these sort of cylinders, right? They look like enormous spyglasses.
Ah,
Well, is anyone manning any of them?
You can't see. You guys are way underneath this tower. It's hundreds of feet up, right?
Gotcha. The only problem is, do we think we can scale the wall?
I have an idea. Mortal, fly me, and I'll go up stealth myself. I mean, I'm still in the open, but at night, it's worth a shot, right?
Yeah.
Take it to see if we can see anybody outside.
Yeah. Outside and looking around. These walls are huge, right? Like, can we fit the airship? Like, say we were starting at the bottom and just floated it up. Can we fit it between windows?
Yeah, you can fit it between
Like-
windows
So, like, we don't go past a window?
for sure.
Okay, so maybe we can do that. Send you up to scout, and then fly up the ship with everyone else.
Yeah.
If
So
it's clear.
we're at nighttime, right? Or at least.
Yeah. So we have an approach. So we'll wait till nighttime and then get closer, right?
So before I go up, I'll do the sky self and make myself like the color of the sky.
Cool. So that's great. And you have fly on you?
Yeah. So first of all, we're getting up kind of closer to the castle. How close do you want to get?
How close do you want to get?
Not within a mile if I'm gonna fly up to try and see it. 'Cause I
Well,
don't want birds to see.
well, hold on here.
Because I mean, the castle's large, but even your great elven eyesight at a mile, trying to determine details,
With a spyglass.
with a spyglass is better.
I just want to do some math really quick. How many feet are in a mile?
And if we go within 5, I can tell if there's any beasts inside or if those birds are beasts.
It's
Probably
about 5,300 feet per mile.
How fast will Mortal
You
hit the
couldn't-
ground?
not.
You couldn't make it to the castle and back to the ship before Fly ran out at a mile out.
No, I think you were misunderstanding what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get because
You just want
we were getting a view from 10 miles out at a low angle. I wanted maybe 5 miles out at a high angle.
You hear you hear another crack of lightning, and you see that the clouds don't look like storm clouds, and the sky above the clouds is bright blue.
Well, we don't want to go above these clouds until it's night, right?
Yeah. What do you mean the clouds don't look like storm clouds? What do they look like?
So the clouds above the clouds above the Evermoors are sort of thin, almost like mist or fog, a little bit more material than that, but they're like a darkish gray, but they don't look like, those like roaring storm clouds. And the clouds that Lynn Armal sits on are similar at the bottom of them, but they quickly become big, puffy, storybook clouds that appear to support the weight of this enormous castle. But the sound of the lightning seems to be coming from the direction of Lynn Armal, and you don't see any lightning, right? You just hear the thunder.
Does the castle have any float to it, or is it stationary?
It seems to be pretty solid here. It's a little hard for you. You guys are in an airship that's not perfectly stationary, right? But as far as you can tell, the castle is on firmer ground than you are.
Okay. I understand what you mean you're going to do with the Fly now, Dan, to get up there and look without the ship going with you.
Yeah. And
Okay, do you want to... I mean, we should get as close as feasible.
And I'm curious to see it against like the horizon to see if it is actually moving up and down at all in there, if there's any give at all in there, or if it's stationary against the horizon.
Yeah, I say we get to like a mile out so you can see with your looking glass, so you can see pretty much everything.
Let's do a mile and a half or something.
Okay. Oh yeah, the birds are about a mile out. You're right. Okay, yeah. Maybe 2 miles. All right, I'll cast Fly on you.
So I think before that, I think that we should drop down into the clouds a little bit to move within 2 miles.
Yeah, get the fully covered by clouds on the ship.
Yeah.
Okay, fully covered by clouds on the ship. And you're about 2 miles out.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's nighttime.
And you're just like rocketing up as fast as you can with your fly spell to try to get a good angle on this, right?
Yeah. With the sky self to kind of really
cover the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to show you guys on sort of a couple different maps because Lynn Armal is really, really big. But you do manage to get up and you see the sort of the same patterns of the Arakora, the bird people, and their circles around. And out at a mile, there's only two, and they're on opposite sides, and it looks like it would take them some time to get around the circle, right? This is sort of like the least populated radius around the castle. You're disguised as sort of blue, and you look natural, like sky, as you kind of come up. The first thing as you crest up over the top is, do you guys see this map?
Yep.
Okay, so you see three sort of garden terraces atop these circles, right? So you can compare to the side view that I gave you, where it says level 3, those are the two lower ones. Where it says level 4, that's on top of the part that's blacked out on the level 3 section. That makes sense to you? The part that's blacked out in the level 4 section is that little dome, and then the part on the bottom of the level 4 section is a spire that raises at least 3 more levels. And you guys see that on your picture?
Yeah,
Am I explaining
that would be the highest spire.
Am I? Yeah. Okay, so this is sort of the image of the highest. The blacked out dome on the bottom, on the sort of southern circle, that's the greenhouse that I was talking about. And from here, it definitely looks like a greenhouse. You see exotic plant life growing up against what is a lightly tinted blue glass with reinforced iron beams. Other than that, there's a fountain on one of the levels. There's a large pumpkin patch growing enormous pumpkins. There's down here is what appears to be a sort of life-sized chessboard.
Oh, nice.
Human-sized chessboard.
Yeah, I was gonna say life size for giants, or
No, human-sized chessboard. Then on the next level down, which I have to take you guys to a different map. You see the bridge out to the gatehouse. Standing at the gate are two of these bird people right at this enormous ornate gate leading into the castle. Then a big long stone walkway follows out to the east, where you see a larger platform with two small structures on it. Standing in front of those two structures are what look like two tornadoes with eyes and arms.
I'm sorry. Tornadoes with eyes and arms?
Yes.
Where are
Red
they?
elementals.
Did I take you guys to the map?
Yeah, you did. I'm
Far
looking
right.
here.
Where are they?
far right.
All right.
Those two circles?
Yeah.
Are there bird people there too, or no?
There's two bird people at the other end of the bridge, sort of standing in front of a giant-sized ornate golden door.
Got it.
Then over on the other side of the gatehouse is a large, giant-sized cloud staircase leading to what looks to be some sort of landing platform made out of cloud below.
Oh, guys,
the-
it looks like they got landing platform. We should go there.
So then there's another level to this situation, which I'm going to show you, but you shouldn't be able to see anything in it. I just sort of give you guys the shape and the sort of the lay of the land here. This is sort of the bottom level. All four of those circles now solid. You can't see into them. There's a gap in the clouds, and then you see the structure that is the gatehouse, right on the east side. So, crossing over here, across this sort of gap in the clouds, is that gatehouse bridge where the air elementals and the bird people are on the upper level. And so that's sort of what you see. If you have any questions about any of the stuff, I can try to answer it. You do have a spyglass. I don't know what level you want me to leave you on for your scouting.
Can you say
Top level, I think.
the top level again, please? Was there anybody manning any of this spyglass?
Any of the spyglasses?
So the spyglasses are the ones that there's 3 per level, right?
Correct. And they should be visible on your map at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no one. You don't see, at nighttime right now, you don't see anybody outside.
can I see any movement inside of the greenhouse?
You cannot see any movement inside of the greenhouse currently. The glass is, like frosted glass. Like it's not exactly frosted, but it's not perfectly clear glass.
Yeah.
And at this distance, you can't really see through it, except to see that there's some greenery on the other side of it. And there is a light on inside it. In fact, there's lights on from various windows all over Lenarmall.
You said this is a fountain up by the pumpkin patch?
Yeah.
Is it
I've got-
running?
Let me read about it. Okay, so yes, perched on the edge of so you're talking about this north lawn, right?
Yeah.
Perched on the edge next to the sort of near the telescopes, but not looking through them or anything, are 6 more bird people. Let's see.
They're on level 3?
Yeah, they're perched on the edge, like on the parapets.
Of level 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the fountain has a spout shaped like a dragon, bound in chains, and it is spraying water out of its mouth in a sort of facsimile of what a dragon's breath might look like.
Are there also bird people on level 4?
Yes. Level 4 also has 6 bird people perched around the thing, and also on. You don't see any on the southern lawn, the southern level 3.
Okay.
Jesus.
I had a question. Are any of the doors on the level 3 or 4 open, or what do the doors look like on level 3?
There's 2 doors leading into the central tower. Both appear to be closed. They're not particularly ornate doors. They look nice. They look like nice castle doors, but they're not ornate and gold inlaid like the sort of main gate is.
Okay, and they're all closed.
Yeah, and then there's another door on level 4 leading into that central chamber, and then there's another door on level 4 leading into the quote highest spire, and another door leading into the greenhouse.
Got it. And then one other question: the on the first picture that you gave us, it looks like it's on level 2. That's like at the front. Does that exist in some way that we can see it? Or?
Oh, you're talking about that ring on level 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Door.
I see. I did not show it to you quite correctly. Yes, you have a little bit more here. But let me fuck with stuff for a sec, because that's going to reveal more than you deserve.
Trying to get all I can. I got us some more, Chad.
What?
I got us some more
Some more what?
info.
What do we get?
It's coming. It's more stuff on level 2.
Oh, nice.
You can see it in the first picture you gave us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's that. It looks like a little exposed ring that falls down. Actually, there might be a bunch more here.
Man, this map is fucking huge.
Yeah, so you can't really get a good angle down into that pit inside of that donut.
Yeah.
You would have to be much closer than 1.5 miles, even with your spike, like because of the way that the walls are shaped. You'd have to be looking straight down into it to kind of see what's inside that pit.
But are there doors at the...
There's doors where they look like there's doors. On the picture.
Anybody on
Looks like there's a door right here.
Yeah, there's doors into sort of the north and south spires.
Is there anybody
Also right here.
Is there anybody standing on that level?
On that level that I just revealed to you?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
All right.
All right. So
Where are we
Which
again?
side are we on?
Yeah,
Oh,
where
yeah,
are we exactly?
Are there any beasts or dragons inside?
How close are you?
A mile and a half, right?
Yeah. So right as you start to concentrate on your beast and dragon situation, right? There's another crack of thunder, and this time, afterwards, you can hear in Draconic a shout or a curse coming from the building. You're much closer now than you were before. Everyone on the ship hears that as well.
What?
And it's it's like a short sentence. Otherwise, your beast sense tells you that there are griffins nearby, and your dragon sense tells you that there is one dragon nearby.
Holy shit, there's a dragon here, bro!
Don't just fly off to go kill it now, Darkon.
And
No one speaks Draconic, right?
Guys, it's fine. I'm
Alright.
immune to dragons. Let me get in there.
Which direction are we coming from?
You guys tell me. This is totally up to you. I'm assuming that you guys are coming from the west, and we're going to orient the castle exactly how it looks in the map because that makes life easier.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
want to come
assuming-
from the west. Then.
I'm assuming you guys are coming from the west.
I think going from the west as well.
Because you guys are roughly coming from the west on the world map. You're coming from the northwest, but you guys can come from any direction that you want. You're able to kind of navigate beneath the clouds pretty easily.
Can you take us back to the 3rd and 4th level map?
Yeah, and feel free to grab screenshots too. I know it's like kind of a pain in the dick.
Pain in the dick.
Okay, so there are little dudes around the edges of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the icons.
Some
They're
more
just
of
tiny
the
because this map is
seagulls.
fucking huge.
Bird
Those
people,
bird
bird
birds.
people.
Walk like birds, talk like people.
No, tastes like birds.
And here, as you guys enter what is this chapter, here's your sort of cinematic picture.
Well, it's no blizzard short.
And that's kind of at this distance you can easily see these guys. That's kind of what they look like. They've got a bluish tint to their feathers. They've got two-handed spears, and they kind of are wearing leather armor like that.
They're like falcons. Falcon people.
Guys, I really don't know how to approach this situation.
Yeah, there's a
You
dragon.
guys, go ahead and talk. I'm gonna change my laundry.
I don't know if these guys can fly with all their muscles.
Yeah, it seems like the proportions are off to allow play.
Like,
So I would say that probably from the southwest would probably be a good idea if we're trying to go stealthy, since there are no birds there.
Right.
We can go in between the windows and up in right next to the greenhouse, and then hop in the greenhouse and see if there's anybody in there. Like, the greenhouses are usually manned by the weaker folk, and so maybe we'll find somebody who can tell us who's sympathetic to our cause of killing their leader or something like that. I don't know, maybe we not how to tell it.
Are we supposed to kill him, or do we just need the conch?
We really just need the
I
conch.
really just need the conch, but I really want to kill him too.
I think, wasn't there something about it, like their bad, like he's trying to do things that are for cloud giants, where other giants want to do things that are everything that's right. I don't know, what was that whole thing about? Does anybody remember? What's the divide between the two? Some want to do things that empower the cloud giants, and some want to do things that try and restore the ordning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah, yeah,
Some are
exactly.
like the storm giants are the true kings, and
The cloud giants.
the storm. Some are like the cloud giants are the true kings, and others are like the storm giants are the true kings. We need to restore that power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, maybe we could find a giant who's sympathetic to that cause, to putting the storm giants back at the top of the ordning and restoring the ordning. Excuse me. In the greenhouse, or we can use it as a base to move from and make decisions from there.
I really don't want to open this interaction by talking to a giant.
Why?
Then how do you open this interaction? By shooting?
Can you tell us exactly where the dragon is? Because we could open the interaction by.
I think I should be able to get a reading on what level it is, especially once we get close.
Can you read that to me? Your ability?
Yeah.
I have to be really careful, right?
Yeah.
I want to reward you guys for the abilities your heroes have, but I don't want to trivialize encounters that are supposed to be difficult by giving you too much.
I mean, you're not going to be able to tell us the layout or anything, but you should, like how high he is and that stuff. I think. I don't know.
Additionally, you can attune your senses to determine if any of your favorite enemies lurk nearby. By spending 1 minute uninterrupted minute in concentration, you can sense whether any of your favorite enemies are present within 5 miles. This feature reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, their numbers, and the creature's general direction and distance in miles from you.
Yeah, if you got particularly close to the castle, I would give you a compass reading, like hot cold to him.
Yeah.
But from 1.5 miles, he's in the castle.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So there's two things happening with that dragon. Either they're fighting a dragon, which it doesn't seem like because bird people are just chilling, or they have a dragon captive.
What if the bird people are with the dragon?
They'd be trying to help it, right? Like, there's no reason they'd just be chilling, regardless of whose team they're on.
I guess.
Unless the dragon took over, unless all the cloud giants are dead.
In which case, I just don't see that being the case.
And it's lightning, right? So probably a blue dragon.
It could
Although
be.
I guess
It could be a metallic dragon too. We know they do like.
bronze. Yeah. Could be our buddy in there.
I doubt that.
Possible. So we need to get closer. We're going to approach from the southwest, right? We can take this one step at a time.
Yeah. I think we go directly beneath it, and the cloud go dragon beneath the southwest wall. Hey, hold on. I think we should wait.
Yep, we're gonna wait. I'm gonna give him the 2 second on what's happened so far, and then he can kind of weigh in on the strategy.
Please and thank you.
Absolutely. It's never about excluding people. It's just about playing D&D when we can, so we can finish this game eventually.
Yeah. No, I saw his face come up a lot.
Eventually.
I think we all need more opinions here.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, we can hear
Hear
you.
you.
Just
Can't
now.
see
Can
you.
hear
Your webcam's off.
Yeah, my webcam's not connected. I'm looking for it.
Oh, you got to plug it in for it to work.
you. Yeah, if you plug in the USB cable to the USB port, it's a little bit like sex. Have you ever-
Call a contractor for that?
Yeah.
All right, guys, it'll be another hour before he gets on.
I really appreciate all that work that you've been doing for that house. That's going to look really cool, Narek, and we'll talk about whatever you learned from that contractor after we talk about what you guys learned about Lynn Armal.
Yeah, if you
What is that contract?
we can start talking about it.
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see you.
No, me. I know. Can you see Lynn Armal? I don't give a shit if you can see me.
It looks so pretty, though.
We can chill for a second. Everyone go take a pee break while Narek gets set up.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I do need to pee. Burp.
And I'll catch Narek up on what I've already told you. So yeah, Narek, Linda's not playing tonight. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh, I remember you guys saying that Cynthia was coming in or something like that.
Yeah, and Linda's got a bunch of other stuff going on, just multiple stressors all kind of coming at her, and she didn't think she could play a 4-hour game of D&D and have fun, you know?
Right.
And so she's here, Fern is here. If we go to combat at any time during this session, I just won't drop her marker, but her character is on board the vessel with you guys, and will accompany you guys unless otherwise specified in any adventures you get up to. And I'll just adjust encounters for 4 instead of 5. It's no big deal.
Alright, I'm gonna be ready in 1 second.
I bet we don't even need the adjustment. We're fine.
I really don't think so. For the most part, you guys roll stuff unless I adjust it up. So, but this is. That said, this is like the biggest sort of fortress that you guys have. I guess you guys went into the fortress of 2 blue dragons, so. But it's a big deal. It's a big castle. It's a very impressive, beautiful looking castle. The blue tiles, the blue sort of shingles and stuff, all look like they're made out of like fine metals and what do you make fucking castle stuff out of? It's really nice, whatever that is. The stones look like perfectly smooth and carved and shaped into this vaguely cylindrical shape, so that the outline of the castle is a perfect circle.
Was there a game being played on the chest or chest?
No, it looks set up for a game.
Okay.
Most of the pieces appear to be in different levels of ornateness and different motifs. Most of the pieces appear to be suits of armor, with 2 much larger ones for the sort of king and queen on each side.
Yeah, I've got Linarm all up now.
Okay, cool. So this is what I showed to the players early on. Did you get that handout?
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Okay, so what these guys did while you were gone is they pulled the ship up to about 10 miles away from Lenar Mall and couldn't find it because it was above the clouds, and there's this sort of thin layer of clouds covering the Evermoors where Lenar Mall is. They peeked up just the tiniest bit to where they could look up through the crow's nest, and they were able to get a feel for the vague shape of Lenar Mall, and they learned that Arakora, or bird people, which I gave them this handout, sort of circle at different elevations and different radii. They sort of circle Lenar Mall in like loose patrols. Actually, loose is the wrong word. They're flying in nearly perfect circles. And the furthest out of these sort of patrols is about 1 mile away. So they brought the airship up to about 1.5 miles away and brought it right up to underneath the clouds and cast Fly on Darkon, who took his spyglass and shot up through the air and managed to get an aerial view of about 1 mile. Go ahead and mute yourself, Chad, just while. Yeah. And this is sort of what. So use the side picture that I shared with you as sort of a reference to cross-reference the 3 levels that I'm going to take you through. This is a very large map. The first level that he saw was the top level. And on this level, he sees 3 large circles, each with a grassy lawn on it. There are bird people perched. If you zoom it way out, you'll see my pings. There are bird people perched along the northern circle and along the central circle. On the northern circle is a large pumpkin patch, fountain with a silver dragon in chains, and where he would be breathing is water gushing out into the fountain. It's not a real silver dragon, it's like a statue. Along all of these circles are large spyglasses or telescopes pointed in different directions. On the southern lawn is a human-sized chess set with suits of armor that are the chess pieces, and a greenhouse, and that's that sort of closest to the camera, that little globe on the map, on the side view. That's a greenhouse. The glass is not perfectly clear, but it seems to have lush greenery and a light on inside. In fact, there's lights on all throughout Lenar Mall. Not every window is lit, but many of them are. It's nighttime. Along the sort of the highest level, there's a central dome area, and then there's a spire that comes up off of that. And the guys have been talking about the fact that the Oracle said to search the highest spire to look for what you seek. On the next level down, if you have any questions, I can sort of answer them quickly, but I'm just trying to catch you up. On the next level down, you see there's a little ring here, and on this ring are 2 more telescopes. On the west side, you can't see down into the pit between the ring and the rest of the castle because you guys were too far away. On the on the east side, there's a little bridge that comes out to a gatehouse, and this gatehouse looks just like a human castle gatehouse would. You would assume that there's guards here that would raise or lower a gate such that you could go into the castle proper. On the other side of the gatehouse is a large cloud stair that appears to come down to what you would describe as a landing platform made out of material cloud. Two structures with pointed roofs, and then in front of those 2 structures are 2 air elementals. And then on the other side of the bridge is an ornate golden door leading into the castle proper, with 2 bird people, or Arakoras, sort of standing guard there. The last level down, you guys didn't get much from, because there's nothing sort of exposed to the outside, but you do see that there's a gap in the clouds where that bridge to the gatehouse runs, right? It's not contiguous, the cloud that it's resting on, which is a larger, puffier cloud than the rest of them. As you guys have been approaching and scouting, you've been hearing the cracks of thunder, and you don't see, these don't look like storm clouds. They don't, the sky is bright blue above the clouds. This castle is floating about a mile above the Evermoors, which are themselves raised from the ground quite a ways. And you hear these cracks of thunder, and as you've gotten closer, obviously they've gotten louder. You're pretty sure they're coming from inside the castle. And after the most recent one, now with you guys perched about 1.5 miles away from Lenar Mall, you hear a curse, a short sentence in Draconic, seething with anger and rage and pain, coming after sort of this crack of thunder. Darkon ran his sort of beast sense and saw that there are griffins inside of Lenar Mall, as well as 1 dragon.
And I had one question on around that. When I want to get to like horizon level on it and get steady. Is it moving at all?
No, it's much steadier. It appears perfectly steady. You're not perfectly steady. The boat's not perfectly steady, but this thing is steadier than you are. Like it appears to be fixed in the air.
Guys, it's like ground.
Guys, I think it's magic.
Yeah, it's not.
I think
and so that's sort of where we left the players. We did a lot of like fucking around on the airship and stuff, waiting for you, Narek. But this is sort of where you are. There's several of these sort of bird people running patrols. There's several of them perched on the ledges. You're about 1.5 miles away from what is an enormous castle. And the bird people are human-sized, if that wasn't clear.
Also, we get plus 11 life for Fern's speech.
Yep. Fern has an amazing pun about cloud giants, and she drops it right now. And you guys get 11. I'm not going to ruin them. I've heard some of them. They're amazing.
We don't speak again, right?
You guys are approaching at night. It's dark. It's dark. The castle, the windows in the castle, many of them are lit, but there's no giants out on the lawn or on the sort of ring of stone or anything like that. No.
So, Nark, to catch you up on our top-rated plan as of yet is to approach from the southwest, where that circle doesn't seem to have any bird people on the rim of it. And we what?
Platform with the chest set and the greenhouse on it?
Yeah.
Like about where I'm pinging.
Yeah.
And we would approach inside the clouds so the airship can't be seen, at least till we get to the base of the castle. and then either float up with the whole ship, or climb up, or find some other way for us to try and get up the side of the wall, and then kind of go from there. And then my theories on the dragon are either that there is a dragon captured there, or the dragon has killed all of the cloud giants and is looking around the castle.
I think one other possibility is that there could be a dragon. They might be like working with a dragon for some sense of their betterment and the dragon's betterment. Like they might be working together. We might walk in there and have to fight both cloud giants and the dragon. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
It is. We know that they hate each other, generally speaking, but it's still possible.
It could be. Well, I guess if we heard it, it's not likely to be. But it could be. No, actually, no, I guess that's a silly idea. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's sort of where we are now, right? These guys can't figure out exactly how they want to approach this thing.
Some of the additional idea was that because there are some cloud giants who support, the cloud giants being on top, and some who support restoring the ordaining, we're hoping that we find in the greenhouse a giant, or at least like some direction in the greenhouse about how to go about all that. Or if we find a giant, maybe he's sympathetic to our cause. If not, we don't.
So, I like the idea of approaching the castle in the clouds, and then looking to like rise it up and jumping off the airship onto that platform you're talking about. Is that the plan?
Yeah, and then have the airship drop back down.
A slightly different approach would be to get as close as possible with the airship completely covered in the clouds, and then maybe throw up like a grappling hook and climb up. So
that's true. Do we have a grappling hook? I know we have.
How far is it from the top of that wall to the clouds? Or sorry, the top of that, the top of the wall to the clouds, yeah.
I'm looking at the green picture, and I see two like holes right at the where the clouds end.
Yeah, I don't. Is that accurate? Are there doors like on that backside?
Yes. They're not. They don't look like doors. They look like holes.
Oh, maybe we just go up in those.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
They're not going to expect people to come up their butt.
Well, I think maybe at least get close, and then maybe Fern is available to you, right?
Yes, Fern is available for the spells she casts outside of combat. Once we roll initiative, she's not around.
So, yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, let's get close, like you guys are saying, and then send Squat up and visibly look through those doors and see what we see. If it's empty, maybe we sneak in there, if not, use our
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Squat. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I had thought of it, but I just didn't want to give you guys any hints. I felt like you guys would either ask or not, and it didn't matter. Yes, Squat is available to you.
Yeah, so why don't we start with, I mean, you guys, this is your idea, why don't we start with going close to the...
And since last level, Fern has the ability to see through Squat's eyes if he's anywhere on the same plane as her. The 1,000-foot limit has long gone.
Oh, so it can go anywhere.
Yeah, we don't even have to get close before we send Squat in.
Yeah, she would know that, so...
Yeah, so why don't we do that? Like, if somebody might sense us. I don't know if the clouds are magical enough to hold people in this castle. Maybe it senses when people are in it or something.
Although we should. I want to let Squat know to be very careful when moving through, because there's a dragon in there, and dragons have clear sight, or whatever can see through his.
Yeah.
And I mean, what I would be most interested in finding out is if those two holes are like sewer pipes for the for the giants, then we could definitely go up through those. It'd be a little gross, but that would be a way to get in without issue.
Yeah. And I'm also interested on any of the open windows. if their windows are open.
All right, squat, recon.
Okay. Squat. So you want to go in those holes? Is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think the start.
I think the whole story.
I don't want Squat to go in the hole. I want to see what he can see from outside of the hole.
For sure. You see inside, and I'm going to reveal it in a sec. I just want to talk about it first. Inside, the room is lit by what appears to be a lamp, like almost like a modern light bulb. You think it's probably powered by some sort of magic, sort of affixed to the wall. It floods the room with an unflickering golden light. In the room are 5 wooden cages, and inside each cage is a griffin. There's scattered wood, like broken beams and stuff throughout the area. There's piled in one corner are crates, and on top of those crates there's a couple pieces of meat. It looks like they store sort of the food for these griffins. Each let's see. Squat's invisible, right? Yeah, a simple clasp mechanism, not a lock or anything. Just like you could, just flip it up like a dog kennel or whatever. Locks each of the 5 wooden cages that holds griffins.
Does it look like the griffins could let themselves out?
No.
Does it look like Squat could let the griffins out?
No.
Oh.
It's giant-sized metal clasp on the door.
Do we know if griffins speak a language?
If they're animals, I can communicate with them through my ranger. Ranger ability.
I mean, they're caged. To me, it looks like we just got 5 allies. If we can convince them.
Yeah, for the most part, they seem calm. One of them is kind of like brushing up against the edges of its cage. Another one is kind of chewing on the wood. And as you look through them, you see that some of the pieces of wood are in worse shape than others, and there's tons of pieces of wood lined up against the side of the room. It looks like they replace them from time to time as the griffins claw and chew at them. But none of them seem particularly, like upset or angry at the particular moment. They're just pacing back and forth in their cages or sleeping, or But griffins do what griffins do.
You can't quite communicate with them like it's a language, though, right? Dan, it's more like senses.
You have the innate ability to communicate with beasts, and they recognize you as kindred spirit. Through sounds and gestures, you can communicate simple ideas to a beast as an action and read its basic mood and intent. You can learn its emotional state, whether it's affected by magic of any sort, short-term needs such as food or safety, actions you can take, if any, persuade it not to attack.
And here in this room, you hear loudly a crack of lightning, a curse in Draconic, and then a few words in Giant, which Fern does not speak.
Inside this room.
You hear it. You're right outside the window. You're like, Squat is like right out here looking, is what I heard from you guys.
Yeah, basically.
Like, looking around the door, is there any type of tripwire or anything?
Yeah, why don't you roll perception, Darkon? You're kind of guiding her through. No, it looks like these 2 holes are Griffin launch bays.
Okay.
It looks like there's 2 doors in the room. One, a simple sort of wooden door that leads further into the castle, and another, a fairly simple double wooden door with iron bars on it, but there's no ornate carvings on it or anything that leads into another chamber there. And other than that, the only entrance and exits from the room are these 2 sort of archways that your best guess is that they would let these griffins out if they wanted to for any reason, and they would pour out this hole and deal with whatever needed to be dealt with.
Guard dogs. All right, so they're not allies.
Yeah,
say this is
and
a-
I think I think that there's behind that bar double door. I think there's a dragon behind that bar double door.
Yeah. Can Squat? Does it look like Squat can get through any doors or anything from this room, or is that like dead end?
No, it's the doors are big, heavy wooden doors. Squat wouldn't have the strength to open them, and there's the gaps around them. It's very well made, and the gaps around them are a little smaller than he is.
Can Squat get up close to something and like listen on the other side of it?
Yeah, he's got perception like any sort of creature does.
Can he perceive on the double door?
Yeah.
Wait, Dan, before we watch in there, I'd rather have him look whatever windows in there first. So, okay. That might get us close enough to a dragon that, like,
Plus, griffins might be able to sense an animal without seeing it as well.
That's true. Okay, I think you're right. Let's wait on that and do the windows and doors, upper doors first.
That's a good point. Let me looking at griffins. No, they don't really react to Squat at that distance.
So
Yeah,
these,
let's look in all the windows. I know.
so these openings are holes.
Yeah, if you open the Linar Mall handout, you can see the two holes at the base of the castle.
They look like giant doors.
Oh, I see. Would you say
And you get the feeling that they're sort of griffin launch bays.
Would you say
that
they're
they're-
griffin doors?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I would not say that ever.
We just lost 11 life.
can you take it away?
Yeah, Pierre loses his inspiration. He gets to drop that joke. Yeah, that's what they are. They look like they're, yeah, it's it's a shuttle bay basically. It's like that's how the griffins get out.
So that's an option.
Yeah.
Not-
Not,
not-
guard dogs.
Not a great one though.
No. Okay, yeah, let's do windows.
Okay, which windows do you want to do? Like, you want to stay on level 1 and go around to the, you want to go around to the donut, as I'm calling it, the lowest of the 4 circles.
Like over to the left?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Oof.
So Squat flies up into here, and
Oh, they have.
so you saw the donut up above on level 2, right? And there
Right.
were telescopes on that. Directly underneath those telescopes, looking out what are giant arrow slits, which is what Squat flew in through, are 3 enormous, giant-sized ballista. There's some puddles of rainwater here. There is a grate on the sort of the bottom of the floor that looks like it's drainage, so that when it rains, it falls into here, and then it slowly kind of makes its way towards these grates. There's little puddles where the stone's not perfectly even, but those seem to be drainage so that this place doesn't fill with water when it rains. Beneath the grates appears to just be the sky, like it just falls out. There's a door on the northern end of the room leading east, and there's 3 staircases. I can show you a little bit more of those that lead up.
Do you want to go check the north windows before we send Spot upstairs or in the doors?
I definitely think we should check all the outsides before we send Squat anywhere into.
Alright. Cool.
Okay, so you guys going around to you guys are going clockwise around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stored in wooden racks along the walls of this room are giant-sized spears and javelins, each one exquisitely crafted. There's a rack of tools, all giant-sized, that you would use to repair weapons and armor. Hammers, rope, forging tools, that kind of thing. 2 suits of full cloud giant-sized plate armor hang from bronze mannequins that stand at attention, their backs against the outer wall. A wooden table rests between 2 doors. A rug embroidered with the image of the night sky lies on the floor below. Again, 2 doors out. Hopefully I revealed that enough for you guys to see the doors, at least a little bit here. Both closed, large wooden doors with some iron details, iron handle, that kind of thing. This room as well, lit by these 2 sort of magical lamps.
Keep going around.
Yep.
Finally, some giants.
Yeah. 5 cloud giants sleep in giant-sized beds in this room. There's a barrel and a crate stashed in one corner. 3 cloaks hang from bronze hooks on one wall. And resting by the door is a large, giant-sized chest.
Well, I want that chest, so.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Yeah, 5 cloud giants sleep in beds in this room.
Just under what Morno can handle himself.
Alright, so keep going around.
Yep.
Okay.
Show us everything.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, Linda took this as a core ability of her character, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is something that you guys can do very well. Not all parties have the luxury of seeing into these rooms like this, and I'm trying to decide if I need to make up reasons to stop you, and I don't think I do here. This is the, like the way, remember, you're hearing this, all of this secondhand through Fern as she's describing what Squat sees. And she struggles to describe this room. She says that it's the most beautiful, ornate room that she's ever seen. It's an audience chamber, and in the east corner of it, the east side of it, between 2 glowing continual flame lamps, is an ornate throne. Inset into the throne are at least 70 gemstones. The throne is sized for a giant. There's 2 enormous golden statues of cloud giants that flank the room. There's platinum tiling. The tiles are either marble or platinum, alternating in a grid. There's a pattern made out of tiles of precious stones in the middle, around what appears to be a circle that's mirrored in the middle of the room. Facing away from the mirrored circle in the middle of the room, that's on the floor. Facing away from that mirrored circle on the floor are 4 bird people, Arakoras. This appears to be just like, think about the Game of Thrones, the Iron Throne room, where you would go and talk to the king. That's what you're looking at here.
That was my vote from the beginning. Is we just take the castle.
Also, Narek, is there any way to get the mic a little closer to you?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that would be a little bit better. You're like on the edges of what it's detecting. We don't have noise yet, because you're using that mic that I gave you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could just get it as close as possible, you're gonna sound better. It's like amping you to extremes.
Is this better?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just behind the TV. I put it in front of the TV.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good. It was working pretty well for being literally behind a barrier.
Okay, so my vote would be to go back around and up the stairs.
To be clear, you can go further down the hallway. Squat just has.
Oh.
Said that circle on the floor is a mirrored surface or something?
Yeah, it's a circle made of mirror.
Okay.
You want to inspect it closer?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hinged. It looks like it spins.
Okay. What? Can we have...
So your moon door sort of assumption, that looks like it might be what it is.
Okay. Can we have Squat take a look at that from underneath?
Yeah. Like fly out and then go around where you think it is and look up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fucking tube and you fall to the ground below, a mile below. If you were to fall through that.
Okay.
It's pretty much exactly what you assumed it was.
Wow. So that's how the king dispenses with people?
Yeah.
Does anyone want to go down that hall more?
Yeah,
Good, yeah.
let's go.
Let's send Squat like around the edges in case these bird people can sense stuff too.
Sure. See a hallway. It has lots of closed doors down this hallway. And another lantern, several lanterns that light the hallway. The insides of the castle are very well lit, and it's not a flickering flame like torchlight. It's a continual burning solid flame with a diffusing orb on top of it. It's very much like modern electric lighting in terms of the quality of light that it produces.
Back around to the stairs.
Yeah.
Is it better than dancing lights?
Yeah, dancing lights tends to move and flicker. This seems to be the continual flame spell. I don't mind telling you guys, which is sort of a solid continual flame.
Wait,
There's
what's,
also a light spell.
what
Kinda
stairs
like
are you talking about?
Over here. No. Over here. There's
Yeah,
three sets of stairs here.
3 sets of stairs lead up from that westernmost circle.
Or we can have the Squat look into windows in higher levels.
Yeah, for sure. I'm here on level 1 because that's where you told me to be.
Okay, yeah, sure. Higher level's fine.
Yeah, I think we should go higher levels before sending them up the stairs.
Okay. But we think that room that we couldn't see anything with the double doors is probably dragon territory, yeah?
I have a hunch.
Where are my dragons?
Okay, so you guys saw this.
Yeah.
I'm showing you this. This is down into the pit that you have already explored. Where do you want to go?
You guys want to start at the gate, the like front, those two squares.
Uh,
On the far east.
oh yeah, might as well.
To the right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's 2 little kind of gatehouses there. There's a smaller door that leads to the staircase, right? But this door is not covered on top. It's just like a gate, right? Like almost like a gate on a fence, right? It's a big iron door that can be opened. Next to it are 2 gatehouses. The openings to those gatehouses, let me see. I don't think there's a door on them. I think they just open. And inside each of the 2 is a ballista.
Okay.
two air elementals seem to hang out on this sort of central platform. And then across the bridge, two Arakoras guard a enormous ornate door. This is like a tall door. Like imagine like a human castle and how big the gate is compared to a human. This is how big this gate is compared to a giant.
Wow. Very large.
Okay.
So the two sort of bird people that guard it are dwarfed by the size of this enormous golden door.
Yeah.
That
And this
seems
like
weird.
this seems to be the main entrance to the castle.
Like, can you imagine if we hired like
Right?
pet cats to guard your house or something? Or like
Or
mice
have guard
to...
dogs? That'd be weird.
No, guard.
No,
it would
it's
be like a
like
guard
having-
rat.
It's like guard orangutan.
No, he's saying it's much smaller.
No, it's
though,
like just way smaller than
than them.
who
You could
you'd
crush
be
it with
protecting
your
it
foot.
from. Weird.
Well, these bird people are the size of people, and people seem to go up to giants' knees approximately.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like a
giant-
guard dog.
Yeah, the giants are like between 18 and 24 feet tall, depending on the sort of breed. So a 6 foot tall human is about a third as tall as the giant. So yeah, it's like their knees are even a little higher.
Oh.
They can fly, so they're like guard humans.
Yeah, and they're standing at perfect attention. Like imagine the guards, you know the guards with the funny hats, the English guards?
Yep. The Queen's God.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like perfectly at attention, perfectly staring straight forward. Blue feathered bird people.
Bird people.
Alright, let's check out some windows, I think.
Okay, which ones?
Start there.
Sorry, I didn't see the ping. North or south?
Let's go north. Please.
Come on! It's so hard to reveal on this fucking map because
It's
everything's
big.
so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know how reveal works.
Well, I can do it as squares, which is easy, or I can do it as a polygon, which is what I want. But if I do the polygon, I have to like click on the beginning of it again, and the scale is such that that's what that's what you see. Two giants. They're kind of hanging out. One of them's sitting on a chair. The other one's standing. Three ballista. If there's anything else in here to tell you guys about. Two stone pillars support the ceiling. A staircase climbs away. Both these giants are equipped with morning stars.
Does that staircase go up or down?
Down.
So it's down to the sleeping.
Does it look like the ballista can be
Sorry, the ballista can be what?
aimed downwards?
They seem like they sort of have a bit of tilt to them. The actual ballistas themselves are level now, but that's with a spring that's been raised a ways. So it looks like they could aim down at about a 45-degree angle or up at about a 45-degree angle by turning this crank that would adjust the spring tension on this large spring attached to a steel platform.
On the other side of their stairs that go up, on the east side.
Correct.
Worried about our airship.
Yeah.
Yeah, your airship is currently below the cloud level, and it's nighttime.
Alright, let's check the south side.
Yeah.
Similar.
Yep.
Another staircase down. No staircase up in this case. The arrow slits. I can talk about the arrow slits a little bit since you guys have seen a bunch of them at this point. The arrow slits are 10 feet tall, 10 feet above the floor, and 5 feet wide, narrowing to 2 feet wide on the outside of the wall. Just so you kind of get a feel for what you're talking about.
We could fit through them. Everyone except Pierre, probably.
That's kind of funny.
Top level?
And then, yeah, doors lead, doors. Squad doesn't go through doors.
Arch Nemesis.
You want to go through the top? You want to go to the top level?
Yeah.
Are any of the giants that the squad just saw, and therefore Fern saw through Squad's eyes, were any of them the one that we saw before, the one that we're looking for, that she's especially adamant about finding?
The Betrayer.
Betrayer, yeah.
Let me flip through a couple of rooms. I do know where he is. And then I have it marked.
Oh man, we do have to fight. We don't avenge him unless we kill that guy.
Wait, what? Are you disappointed we have to fight?
No,
No.
you have not. You have not seen the giant that you recognize.
Okay.
No, I don't know what I was thinking before.
Okay, so you guys are up on the top level. What do you want to look at?
Center circle?
See which window do you feel like entering? There's windows. There's one here.
I see.
There's one here. I know that you guys probably can't see them all that well. There's one here. They're like equally spaced around.
Should we start with the one on the right and then go clockwise?
Sure.
Okay. So the one on the right. This room this room
Oh, Eric's there. Hey, Eric.
Hi Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Cut into the floor in one corner of this room are 6 murder holes. Do you see those?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, murder hole is a technical term. I think Eric could probably tell you what a murder hole is.
Yes, a murder hole. Is this floor murder hole from like above, or is it from the side?
This is the ones from above, and on the counter next to the murder holes are multiple flasks of what appear to be acid.
The murder holes are holes for people either immediately above who shoot projectiles and or burning pitch or whatever on people in the
Ah.
So
Okay.
you have a decent view, the idea of this place, right? And
Yeah.
this seems to be above the sort of above the gate.
Yeah. All right.
And there's a guard here, who's actually seems to be more so than the other ones that you've seen. He appears to be on active duty. He ran over to kind of poke around and check on these sort of vials of acid and look at them. It looks like he might be like mixing 2 reagents together to make the acid. And then after he finishes starting up another vial of it, he makes his way quickly back over to the arrow slit that Squat flew through in the first place and starts to look through it. And he appears to be very attentive and sort of on active duty. There's tons of acid in this room and in various states of manufacture. It looks like he's preparing more acid, but there's also an enormous amount of it. And then there's 6 murder holes.
And these murder holes are directly above the front, like right after you walk in the front door, right?
Yep.
Let's not go in the front door.
Yeah.
Why is he preparing a bunch of acid?
Although I'd like to pilfer some of that acid.
Guys, I'm really sorry. I got a little bit distracted. Where's the murder holes?
The 6 circles.
6 circles, they're directly above the front, after you walk in the front door.
Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like he would pour acid down them, yes.
What? Is he a scientist?
Darkon is.
Yeah, so we're next, guys.
I guess clockwise to the next one down, the one by the chessboard.
You guys get so much scouting. A decorative wrought iron staircase in one corner of this room leads down. Colorful rugs decorate the floor while the walls are festooned with partitions forming niches that display art objects. This appears to be a gallery. It would take some time to inspect each of the sort of art objects that are in the room, but each has a plaque in front of it with text written in Giant, which Fern doesn't speak, and each art object hangs in a lit display case.
Damn, these Giants are cultured.
Among them are exquisite paintings, musical instruments, banners and tapestries, ceramics.
Is there a conch shell among them?
There is no conch shell among them.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. Fern does not read Giant, and all of the plaques are written in Giant. There's an orb through which you think you can, like, it looks like there's stars inside the orb. I don't know. There's some items here. If you spend a long time, I'll try to describe them all, but otherwise.
Should we keep circling around or send squad down the spiral staircase?
I think that's right. The room that we thought the dragon was in.
No, I think at this point we're 2 levels above. I think that's going to either go into the room, the front door room, or right next to it.
Okay, gotcha.
But I think we can keep going around the front.
Okay, and the staircase does also go up.
Oh.
This is the middle level. It's a spiral staircase that's a middle level.
Oh, so that might cut into one of those rooms we can
No,
see.
it goes up to right here. You can see it on level 4. It's right here. So we know where it goes up to there. Can you take a step back down to level 2 for just a second, please?
Yep.
So we gotta send squad in to look if we want to see down there.
Yeah, at least it gives us. It looks like it gives us an aim.
Seems
Yeah.
like a potential entry.
I think. Okay, I think we should go back to 3. Yeah.
Yeah, back 3.
No problem. And this whole time, you're every few minutes you hear this crack of thunder, cursing in Draconic, and then cursing in Giant.
And Fern tried to replicate the sounds that those beings are making to see if Darkon can understand what she's trying to say.
Yeah, I'll make her roll performance. That's funny.
Dragon sound, right? Because I don't have dragon, but I have dragon.
Right.
She can get a couple words. The words that are the loudest and the easiest to replicate are all curse words.
Alright, fair enough. All right, next window.
Next window. Keep it moving.
How regular are the things? Could you time it, or is it just kind
It's just kind of
of okay?
every couple minutes. In this room is a bedroom. It seems to be more ornately built up than the previous bedroom you saw that was shared by several giants. This appears to be the bedroom of a single giant. Strewn on the floor are basically like when a kid might have a toy train. Like imagine that, like that level of manufacture, but big enough for a halfling to sit in. A chariot. There's a silk-skinned doll as big as a human. In addition to that chariot.
Doll.
Otherwise, the quarters are relatively tidy. There's a soft bed, a rug, a bookshelf, and a large chest, size for a giant.
The door, just one door
Just one door.
that leads to the art room. Looks like, or a hallway maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the bed made like nicely made?
Yep, it's nicely made. No, it's not perfect.
Oh, wow.
What?
Then
Sorry, what did you say, Eugene?
I just said, well then, why didn't they make it perfectly?
What's
It should
what's
be
along the
scolded.
eastern wall above the door?
The eastern wall.
Yeah, above
It's a bookshelf,
the
So,
and there's giant size, and a couple different little trinkets on it.
so are these giants progressive enough for this to be a male giant's room with the doll in it?
Wow.
Or are they still? Is this definitely a female giant's room?
Is there a way to mute somebody?
Yeah, who are you asking?
Can we have Fern go up to the greenhouse and I'm sorry, Squat go up to the greenhouse and see if she can see in?
Yeah, there's a cloudy. You can see only through the cloudy glass, right? It's not perfect glass. And in this cloudy glass, you see there is a cloud giant, or something about that size, tending to the plant life.
Okay.
All right, next window.
Yep.
Move this trolley right along.
This room, unlike the others, you can see into it, but unlike the others, the window to this room is covered in glass, so Squat can't get in. Inside this room, you see a giant-sized library, and sitting on the central desk, you see an enormous tome, much larger than any of the other tomes on the shelves, with a bright purple cover open to a page.
It's closed because it's the library. You gotta keep the moisture away from the books. Nice window.
Yep.
What do you know, guys? It's like a castle. Look how many fucking rooms there are.
Yeah, why did they do that?
Right, that's weird.
Subs.
This room contains two small beds. Very, like, much small, bigger than maybe human-sized beds. Large stuffed toys perched precariously atop them.
Kids' room. Next window.
They're all kids' rooms.
You know, progressive, remember?
Inside this room, you see two 6.5 foot tall roughly 250 pounds giants.
Little baby giants.
They speak in giant with a very limited vocabulary. Fern can't understand them, and they play with large blocks in sort of the center of the room with lots of other toys and a bookshelf and such all adorning the room. There is a stuffed Yeti mounted on a wooden base in the corner of the door, by the door.
So Pierre hears the description of the room, and he's like, "There's midget giants? Aren't those just humans?"
Yeah. They speak to each other. They kind of hit each other, punch each other a little bit, and then they go back to playing.
All right.
Okay. Huh?
I was just curious. When a creature's born, is its alignments set already? Like
Alignment's not like that. Alignment is like, imagine real people. They can grow up to be good or evil, and it depends on the people that influence them and the things that happen to them in their life. And I don't know what makes a person good or bad. Alignment is not like a magic thing in this world. It is a description of their behaviors, and their behaviors define their alignment, not vice versa.
So we have not explored the stairs yet.
no.
So before we do that, though, are there any other windows on level 4 that we should look through? I can't. There's some black covering parts of it. I can't tell if there's any windows though.
No, there's no windows on level 4.
Then stairs, yeah.
Is there a door on level 4?
Yeah, there's a door leading into the central chamber that's closed. And the door leading into the central chamber appears to be made of thick glass. And through that glass, you can see a hovering orb hovering above a sort of pedestal. It's a hovering blue orb shedding blue light into a small wooden room. I guess I can show it to you. But there's a large glass door blocking it that appears to be locked. And then the other door leads into the southern little tower there, and that's sort of the quote highest spire, and that door is locked. Or it's closed anyways. So
I think that orb makes it float, guys.
Yep, I think I 100% agree with you.
Okay.
Right, down the stairs.
Yeah, go down the stairs.
Okay. So you want to go to level 2?
Yes.
From the art room.
2 doors lead out of a small hall.
Did you
And
take
by
us?
small, I mean enormous. Oh, did I not take you?
Yeah, no.
You'll be disappointed.
Nice. That's the last bit of info we needed. Now we know how to attack.
Yeah. Your plan is set.
Should we check the big stairs from outside?
Yeah, I kind of think they just go.
Yeah, I want to meet the dragon.
Yeah, let's check the big stairs.
Yeah.
Which big stairs?
Go down to first level and up the stairs in the donut.
From like the courtyard area.
Yeah. They lead to the north and south ballista batteries.
What about the middle set of stairs?
Got it. Long hallway, well lit, lots of doors.
And it leads to the front door.
Yes, it leads to the front door.
Alright, guys. So we have 11 full grown giants, 2 kid giants, and an unknown amount in the black spaces.
Plus, there's at least one more giant, the one that we know is here that we haven't seen.
You know what? We
And
should
probably
practice.
the queen giant.
We should practice fighting the cloud giants by attacking the kid giants.
So
You're an
can you,
evil man.
so at the end of the last session, if you guys remember, I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
Can you remind me why we're at this castle? Like, what are
Yeah,
we looking for?
100%. I can give you that. So when you remember that the first time you guys visited the Eye of the Allfather, you asked how you can stop giants, stop the giants from sort of fucking up the kingdoms of men.
Yeah.
And the Eye of the Allfather said that you must visit Hecaton's court, the Storm Giant King, and root out the evil within.
Okay.
And you guys asked how to do that, and he said that you'll need a conch of teleportation, a magic shell. When you asked how to obtain the magic shell, he said that you had to prove your worth, and you had to collect giant relics from barbarian burial grounds. You did that, and you brought it back. And for each relic that you gave him, he gave you the location as a divine knowledge in your heart of one giant lord. And because you guys got 6 relics, you learned the locations of 5 giant lords, all 5 of them. The one that you chose to tackle is Countess Sansuri, the cloud giant countess. And you know that she resides within the cloud giant castle of Len Armal. You follow that divine guidance to Len Armal, and you find yourselves here, having scouted it out best you can with your frog familiar, courtesy of Fiddlesprout.
So we're trying to root out the evil here, whatever that means.
You're trying to find a conch of teleportation here. You need to root out the evil in King Hecaton's court.
Oh, that's somewhere else. Okay, got it.
And the reason that we need to kill somebody is because Fern wants to release the cloud giant spirit.
Our buddy.
Yeah, the friendly cloud giant that you guys met a long time ago, you also met again in the Eye of the Allfather, and he said that he's cursed because he was betrayed by one of his best friends, another cloud giant. That cloud giant resides also somewhere within the cloud giant castle of Len Armal. You have not seen him in any of the rooms that you've visited. So this is sort of the scouting that you guys have gotten.
It didn't help at all.
Didn't help at all. You guys saw like half a fucking castle. 3/4 of a castle.
Can we send Spot up to that double door downstairs of 1? To hear what's on the other side?
Is that what you want to do?
Yes. But to be careful in that room going around the...
Yeah.
So there's shouts in giant and in draconic. There's bursts of lightning. There's roars of pain. There's softer speaking in giant after between. There's I mean that's kind of what you got. Not knowing either of these languages.
Yeah.
There's a giant and a dragon having an uncomfortable conversation. And occasionally cracks of lightning and thunder.
So I think our best bet's gonna just be to run in past these griffins, open that door, and see what's going on.
Maybe we can make a dragon buddy.
Yeah, hopefully a dragon buddy's in there. Because if there's no dragon buddy in there, we're dead.
I mean, I don't think that's the case. I can kill some dragons.
I mean,
but
you might be dead in one breath. I, on the other hand,
I have in my level up, I have corrected errors that I found in my abilities.
so yeah, let's. I think that's a good idea. Because
you guys don't. I think that might. Honestly, I feel like that's the worst place to go. There's all these griffins that are trained, or like they're domesticated by these giants.
but they're locked.
What's that?
They're locked up right now.
Yeah, but if like one giant comes in here and starts unlocking them or something, then we're fighting giants, griffins, possibly dragons. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. There are bird people everywhere. Like, we're not going to be able to sneak anywhere in this piece.
alright. Do we want to fight any of these guys at all?
Yeah, we want to kill... I mean, she's not here, but one of Fern's biggest motivations was to release that cloud giant spirit.
But, I mean, this is like a giant community. There's like kids and stuff. Like,
Yeah, but they don't all agree with each other. I mean, we can possibly in mid-fight find giants who are on our side.
As long as we make it clear that our side is just to
So where's Squat?
Right by those double doors.
He's just hanging out there.
Or do we pull him away?
You guys are having a conversation. I just want to know where all the chess pieces are.
We can pull him out because he got what
So-
he needed.
So I can also cast tongues on Fern, and she could understand the conversation if Squat can hear it on the other side of the wall.
I didn't.
That seems like a good idea.
All right, I do that.
Okay. You hear what seems to be the sort of near the end of a painful interrogation. You hear a female cloud giant voice calmly saying, "Tell me what you know, and we can stop this." And the draconic voice on the other side, which is familiar to you, says, "I don't know anything. Why did you bring me here? I don't know where what you seek is."
It's our buddy.
There's a silence. There's a loud draconic roar and crack of lightning, and then the cloud giant voice, "I'll be back tomorrow." And then the double doors swing open, and you see into the room with your invisible familiar, and you see a bronze dragon in chains with a muzzle over his mouth, chains on his arms, legs, and around his neck. In the room beside him are 3 humanoid-sized cages, broken wood and beams. There's a red hot poker in a flame that looks like it has been recently poked into the dragon, and a female cloud giant in royal robes, holding a sad face mask up to her face, walks out through the double doors, through the griffin chamber, through the single door at the north end of the griffin chamber, and closes the door behind her.
So the doors are left open? The
No,
bar
she
doors?
closes them behind her.
With 2 humanoids still in there.
There's no humanoids.
They're sized cages.
3 cages sized for humanoid. Let me go to the page and I'll read it. I'll give you a little brief description that you see very quickly through here. Adult bronze dragon that you recognize in chains, muzzle and collar, manacles, all sort of chained to the stone walls of the castle. Empty iron cages sized for humanoid prisoners. The bar is 1 inch thick with 4-inch gaps between them. You see the female cloud giant that leaves, again holding a porcelain mask of a frowning face up in front of her face. She takes with her what appears to be a mithril-tipped spear, red hot, from a fire that's from being dipped into the sort of continual flame torch on the side of the wall. Around her sort of belt, she has a ring of large, giant-sized keys that jingle as she walks, and otherwise she's dressed in ornate purple robes. She leaves. You see a brief glimpse of the room in which your friend Felgalos is restrained, and then the door shut.
Fuck. These guys were able to. These guys were able to capture.
Yeah, that's why we need to release him to help us
Oh yeah, definitely.
do
I'm
some.
just saying that they were able to do that is kind of scary.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it is, but also, like, I don't know, Felgalos might have. He's a little clumsy. He might have accidentally
That's true.
caught, you know.
That's true.
Yeah, and he looks like he's in bad shape. He's got multiple wounds, mostly between his scales, where he's been sort of like poked while he's been held restrained. Again, he's got a muzzle on and chains linking his neck and all four of his limbs to the stone walls of the chamber.
Can
It's empty actually.
what extent do we have Fern's abilities?
What do you want to do?
Well, I was gonna suggest I have Dimension Door and can get in there, but she has Dimension Door and can get in there.
Yeah, you want to do that?
The only question is, can she get rid of chains?
Can you?
No, that's why I was seeing. The other option is I can take someone my size or smaller with me through the door.
Yeah, the chains go to manacles, which have obvious keyholes on them.
I can pick it.
Okay, so we can both go through.
You can pick giant-sized locks.
Oh, they have keyholes. I could knock it, right?
That's loud though.
Yeah, it's true.
I recently became really good with it with thieves' tools. I just picked up rope. So,
Okay. The only reason I want to use her Dimension Door is so that I'm not blowing through spells we might need.
She can't take someone of. I mean, she can take someone of equal size or smaller.
but nobody is as small as her. I'm in the same size as you.
But someone can get in the bag of holding and she can take that. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I would want to suggest, if we're taking full advantage of our abilities, is to Dimension Door from Fern.
Yeah, I'm going to mark her spell slot as taken, but yes.
Yeah, with Darkon in the bag, and they both go through. Darkon pops out and frees Fuglos, and then we can come in separately.
Like a wrecking ball?
Like a wrecking ball.
Okay, so I mean, like if we go in and get Felgos, and it's quiet, Felgos is gonna want to leave. Like we have business to do.
Yeah.
No, he'll help us. We helped him.
Okay, I mean the biggest question is, are you guys gonna be able to get out safely and
No.
stealthily?
Oh, I see.
I have a feeling that if once we release Felgos, Felgos is gonna burst through that door and fly the fuck out of here.
No, it's not like that.
And if he's
Linda, they found Felgalos held captive in Len Armal, and they're arguing over if Felgalos will help them with Len Armal after they free him, or whether he'd peace out. What do you think?
I think he would help us.
Linda thinks that Felgalos would help you.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah, I agree.
maybe I'm overestimating how hurt.
I think he's pissed off. He's gonna want revenge once he's.
The only reason he didn't like destroy this stupid giant BZ with lightning is because there's a muzzle on his face.
Are you saying lightning can't go through his muzzle?
Yes.
All right, yeah, I think let's go in. I'll pick the
Wait,
locks.
can we make a shield out of this muzzle? So we can fight other dragons?
No. The plan is I'm gonna keep this muzzle for the next time I'm riding a dragon.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. There you go. But yeah, so the biggest question is, can we save Felgalos without causing a change in security that will prevent us or make it way harder to find the conch? Would it maybe be better to get the conch first?
Wait. Think about this. If Fern can get in there by herself, Felgos can turn into a halfling and she could bring him back through a dimension door. As long as she can get him out of the chain.
I thought Dimension Door was only a self target spell.
+1 same size or smaller person.
Oh.
Size, if he's a halfling. But how does she get him out of the chains?
I mean, can she try to pick locks with your tools? She'll probably have some time.
She could add the title Breaker of Chains to her.
Mother of Dragons.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she does have 19 strength. I wonder if she could.
Okay, the other thing, just one other timeout, is a lock that holds a dragon is probably magical, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Can you cast things through a dimension door?
No.
No. I'm gonna say no to that. We've had some casts through portals, and I've ruled on a case-by-case basis. So a dimension door isn't like that. It's not a portal until you step through, and then it immediately ceases to exist.
Okay, here's the
Also,
other thing.
remember that
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Felgalos has a teleporting ability with frames too, and we have the airship
Yeah.
with the wooden frames.
Oh yeah, there's wood
Yeah.
in there. Maybe
Sure.
he could.
I mean, here's the other question though. Why isn't Felgalos using magic? Because if he could change to a halfling right now, he could technically shrink in his chains and be able to slip out.
Well,
That's why I think it's a magic lock.
well, it's the locks or the muzzle. Once we get those things off of it, he should be able to do
did
magic.
Hopefully.
when we split from him last time, did he keep his necklace or did Fern keep it?
The
You guys
frame,
didn't tell me.
You mean the frame necklace thing?
You guys didn't tell me. He doesn't.
Either way, I mean, if Fern kept it, then it's with us. If he kept it, it's with him.
No, the frame, no one kept it. The frame
Actually-
was on the ground. And
Oh,
actually-
right. You guys
Alright.
left the frame in
Yeah.
Ascor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, but it really, thinking about it, it doesn't matter. There's wood on the ground in the room.
Right.
If we can get Felgalos out, we can make a quick frame and get back to the airship, and then make a new plan with Felgalos in tow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or Fern, or we can make a frame from some wood on the airship, and she teleports with it, so she doesn't have to be building a frame in there.
That's true. Let's make one here at the airship, and then she takes me, and then I'll pick the locks, or Chad takes me, and he checks for magic. I pick the locks, and then we get out with Felgalos.
I think I gotta get in there, so I think I'm using Dimension Door, but if we can use Felgalos' spell to get out with all of us, that'd be fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. Is you get me in, you check for magic, I do the locks. Felgalos gets us out.
Okay. I also,
So are we
I
all
like
teleporting
having
in
it-
there?
what?
Are we all teleporting in there, or you're teleporting in with Darkon?
Yeah, I think I'll teleport in with Darkon. Just because I'm worried about the locks being magical.
And then I think as a second step, because we're not sending Fern in, we should have Squat watch the room
Outside, yeah.
with the griffins, and have Fern looking through the eyes. If anything happens, she dimension doors in with somebody in the.
Yeah. Okay, so are we gonna build a frame right now then? That's the first step?
Yeah.
Sure. That's not terribly difficult for you guys. You guys can peel off pieces of wood here and there and build a frame about the size of a medium-sized creature.
Do we need to build two?
No, he knows the airship. He can take us to a door of the airship.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But
I-
quick question. Is this a situation where we could do silence knock?
Yeah, but I only have a scroll of silence, so I'm gonna detect
Oh.
magic first, and if there's no magic, he's gonna pick it.
Okay. Cool.
That sounds good.
So we gotta get up to like 490 feet away.
So stay in the cloud cover.
We're passing some bird patrols that are out there if they're still out there at night. But yeah,
The patrols seem identical, like in terms of like the circles that they're flying, to the ones you saw during.
yeah.
Are we spicy dropping?
So we time it for when it's not near us and it's circle and go through the clouds.
Okay.
And then you're just pulling up to the side, just close enough to dimension door inside.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we want to stay as far away as possible still for now, right?
500 feet. 500 feet's still pretty close when you're in the air, though.
And also below the clouds. Like none of the airship is visible above the clouds.
Oh,
Right.
okay, yeah, that's true too.
Is that the case? I wanna
Yeah,
look
if we
at the
go,
picture.
you're right. If we go below, then they can't see us. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, 500 feet. You could probably get there because the door. This is all on the lowest level, so you can get below the clouds and pull this off.
Yeah, because the picture shows the clouds right up to the bottom of that door.
Yeah.
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 Cool. That sounds
All right.
good. Let's do that.
Sounds like a plan.
So first, dimension door in.
Alright, I grab the frame, and I grab Darkon, and I dimension door into Felgolos' room.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Wait.
Do you guys still have Pass Without a Trace on?
I don't know.
Let's see. An hour.
It lasts an hour? Yeah, we should still have it then.
Yeah, I think I should still have it.
Sweet! So you guys are like dimension dooring in and extra stealthy. Awesome. Alright.
Hey, how long does it take us to come in? What, 10 miles?
Yeah.
Under an hour, probably.
Yeah. Well, I'm also like thinking of the time we spent scouting out the castle. Yeah, I think that all is just under an hour, maybe like 10 minutes left or something, 10 to 20. That's my guess, anyways. Ask Austin.
Okay, guys. So
Awesome.
tell me what you're doing.
All right, hold on. Before we move on past this, I want to say that Gronk is on that top thing of the airship, the lookout, so that just in case if I do need to get in, I can like maybe the airship can go up a little bit and I can hop off of that into those doors.
Sure.
And all the ballistas and stuff are manned by the thing, and they're all ready to shoot.
Got it. Okay, that sounds good to me.
And Pierre, you should probably be up here with me in case you need to jump in there.
Yeah, Pierre, where are you?
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, no, I was just looking for his response, and he did nothing.
Would you give it it's been under or over an hour since we were 10 miles away?
Probably over an hour. You guys have been slowly exploring every room, trying to keep the airship hidden.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why?
I'm curious on Pass Without Trace.
Yeah, it's probably been over an hour. But if you're staying below the clouds, you know, you're pretty good.
Okay. No, I'm not gonna cast.
So, Eugene,
Yeah.
I was saying that Gronk is going to be at that watchtower thing at the top of the airship.
Okay.
So just in case, we can jump from there to the griffin holes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So maybe you should be up there with me, so we
Yeah.
have an entryway to get in if shit goes down.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Yeah, I'll be up there with you. But wait. We're still 500 feet away though, right? Like we're not that close.
You're basically under the clouds, near those holes. You would have to fly the airship up. A bit.
Okay,
It's pretty close.
yeah, we'd fly it in. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Alright.
But yeah, so we teleport in.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Okay.
like, not right in front of him, so he doesn't get freaked out, but maybe by the crates over here.
Yeah, teleport. Go ahead and drop your token in.
So-
Moral Dark.
Believe it or not, my token is in there, and I'm gonna need some help with that.
Oh my god, are you like super small?
Yeah.
I'm there too.
Guys,
Hello, team?
You guys see him now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you teleport into the room. It's a dungeon, although it's well lit. 3 humanoid-sized cages, crates, barrels, broken stuff along the ground, a continual flame spell burning in a wall sconce, and an adult bronze dragon chained around his arms, legs, and then a collar around his neck connected to a muzzle around his mouth. He has his sort of eyes closed and is like, trying to find the least straining position against all these chains that tie him up to the walls.
So I'm looking around, seeing if there's anything.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've described kind of everything that you see. There's a double iron door that's closed into this room. The torch is still lit. And yes, there's a dragon. The overwhelming aspect of this room that calls your attention is the dragon.
Okay.
I whisper, but loud enough for Fogalos to hear me. I say, Fogalos, what have you gotten yourself into this time?
Yeah. He opens an eye and looks at you, and then kind of nods and strains against the chains a little bit, and he says in hushed common, he says the chains, get rid of the chains. I can't do anything.
All right. I kind of casually saunter on up and cast Detect Magic.
Yeah, the chains, the locks appear relatively mundane, although intricate and well designed. But the chains themselves sort of are magically strengthened and appear basically impossible to sort of break apart.
Also, does this definitely look like it's Felgolos, or is it just a bronze dragon?
This looks like Felgolos.
Okay. Because you keep saying this dragon, and I'm like, what?
No, sorry. This appears to be Felgolos, the dragon that accompanied you into
Alright. Just making sure.
you can tell
alright,
by
so-
the dankness of
You
the
said the
smell.
locks are mundane, the chains are.
Yeah, so I
All of the metal appears to have magic kind of like woven into it, but the locks themselves, the actual mechanisms, it's not a magical lock. It's an intricate physical lock.
Alright, I'm gonna pick that.
Yeah, so I say you're up, Darkon.
Yeah. How many locks are on it?
There's one locking mechanism that controls his 4 limbs, and a second mechanism that controls his collar and muzzle.
What do you think? The muzzle first, Chuck?
Yeah, we need him to be able to breathe lightning if something happens.
Yeah, so I'll go for the muzzle first.
Okay.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, your lockpicks break in the mechanism. Not your whole lockpicks, but the ones that you tried to use. You still have.
Oh my gosh. 10.
Yeah, that's still the mechanism is complex and difficult, and you feel like you're able to get a couple of the tumblers switched, but you're not. It's like a maze in there, and you're really struggling, and you think it's going to take you a significant amount of time, perhaps as long as an hour, of sort of studying and playing with this lock to unlatch it.
So after about like 2 minutes, I just go, ugh, and I cast Silence.
Okay, is that a spell of a level that you can cast?
Yeah.
Then the scroll evaporates into thin air, and
And then I just gotta be
a
specific.
sphere, a sphere of silence appears in your designated location.
So I put the sphere so that it's like it barely it crests over the locks,
Yep.
but not really beyond that to the wall side.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Let me look at knock. So it's. Oh, range is 60 feet. Okay. Now I'll just cast it on the dragon, and then I'll step back out of range of that silence thing because it's a 60-foot radius for knock.
Yep.
And then I'll fire off. How many locks are there?
There's 2.
I'll fire off 2 knocks.
Yep. Bam, bam. Locks open. The dragon, starts to say thank you. Sees that there's nothing coming out of his mouth in the silence, right? And flaps his wings, makes like a roaring motion, but there's no sound. He looks around at the silence spell, stretches his arms and legs, lifts his wings, and you see that he's bleeding quite badly from multiple small puncture wounds between his scales. And then he sort of like rears up, shakes his wings out, and then appears in the form of a halfling and steps out of the silence. And he hugs you. He hugs Mornal and then Darkon, and he says, thank you so much. How did you find me? How did you know that I was here?
You got lucky, buddy.
Yeah, we came specifically looking for you. And we found you. So
he says shortly after we parted ways, I was invited by the Countess Sansuri, the Cloud Giant Countess of Linar Mall, to help consult on a difficult problem that she has. She was looking for an ancient trove of dragon magic. I didn't know that at the time. I was just asked for my expertise, and I came here on her behest. And when I didn't have the answers she was seeking, I was imprisoned. I've been here for weeks, or about a week, maybe. It's been a long time.
rough life. What do you say we all get out of here? And I kind of hold up a frame.
Yeah, we can. Absolutely. Is the airship nearby?
That's where we need to go. We can't actually leave. Or I mean, you can do whatever you want, but we'd prefer if you didn't leave. We need to talk on the ship.
Yeah, let's talk on the ship. Absolutely. He touches your frame, lights up into a portal that you can see through to the other side of the sort of thing, right? And before he steps in, he looks back at the chains, right, that are laying on the floor, and he says, they check on me about every half hour.
Okay, we got a half hour to talk.
Yeah, and then you step through the portal, and you're on your airship. And Linda's here. I think she's hanging out with us. She's secretly.
Alright. So then, when I get back, as usual, Fern just riddles me with praise at how amazing that was, and
Fern jumps up in the air and says, "I'm so glad you're safe," and runs up and hugs you, and then backs up and looks at you and says, "You're not hurt, are you?"
No, never.
This is disgusting.
Of course not.
Yeah, so Felglos can explain what's happening to him. That he was invited here by Countess Sansuri to help consult on a difficult problem that she thought his expertise would help with. She's been looking for an ancient trove of dragon magic hidden by the ancient giants of the ancient kingdom of Astoria, and she believes that finding this treasure will allow her to ascend, cloud giants in general, to ascend to the top of the ordning. Felgalos is much older than her and is a dragon. She thought that he could be the next, clue in her hunt. Felgalos doesn't know shit about this, and he tells you guys that much. He said, I've never heard of it, don't know anything about it, don't know anybody who would, and those are not the answers she wanted to hear, and she didn't believe.
Should we believe you?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So, we need to get her conch.
Her what? Is that a euphemism?
I mean, it could be, but in this case, it's not. She holds a magical conch that will let us get to the dragon or the giant. Yada yada yada. It doesn't really matter. She holds it, and we need it.
To be honest, the only things I've seen her holding is a heated mithril spear and a porcelain mask.
Do you know why she wears that mask?
Not all, most cloud giants do. It's like it's polite in cloud giant culture to hold up the mask that shows your emotion rather than show it physically.
So, does she have more than one of these masks?
I've seen her wear a couple. Either angry or sad, depending on her. That
I
I've
was
seen her.
worried if she had one emotion.
And we remember her walking out of that chamber wearing her sad mask, right?
Correct, and it's like a mask on a stick. It's like
Yeah.
Does it have different faces on each side?
The one you saw her wearing was a white porcelain mask and a frowning face. Like the whole mask was that.
Did she tell you why she's looking for this dragon horde?
She thinks that finding it is the key to elevating cloud giants to the top of the ordning. And Felgos looks at you and says, have you heard of the ordning?
Yes.
Yeah.
And passing.
Then he doesn't explain it to you.
Yeah.
And even in his halfling form, he looks hurt. It looks like in his halfling form, his left arm is broken. And he's sort of fashioning a sling for himself out of materials on aboard your vessel.
I'll conjure up some good berries and hand them over to him.
Yeah, he eats one or two, and he's like, they're not. It's not really enough.
Do we have anything that could heal a dragon?
He's, if you're concerned about him, he says, "Don't worry about me. I'm okay. Just I've been in a torture chamber for a week."
Yeah, I'd be okay too. No biggie.
No, it looks like his wounds are, intended to inflict pain rather than cause permanent damage to him, right?
That's sad.
Yeah, she was very polite for the first day.
So we want to get a conch. We want to kill at least one of these giants. We don't know which one, or we don't know where that particular giant is. And it sounds like this lady needs to die too.
Yeah, what do you think, Flatbush?
Is this your business here?
Yeah.
The conch is our business, and you, of course.
You want us to avenge your wounds, right?
Do I have to come?
Do you want to come? I just thought you'd be angry.
I mean, I am angry.
So you want to come?
I mean, I didn't know that the Felgalos, what was he?
The Bronze Avenger.
The Bumbler?
Bronze Avenger wouldn't even avenge his own pain.
No, I'm all in, guys. To be honest, she took my Yondala's delight.
Oh my god.
Another heist?
Now she's got it down.
I think.
How dare she?
Yeah. No, you guys, I owe you guys a lot for your help previously. You've been awesome. And yeah, I'm fucking pissed. Let's go kill some giants, just like old times.
How many cloud giants would you say you can take?
One or two.
So 5.
With you guys, as many as there are. Let's do it.
What can you tell us about the griffins?
They're griffins. They're
But I mean, are they
half
gonna?
lion, half bird.
Are they loyal? Like, are they gonna attack us?
Oh yes, very.
Guys, so we have this half-hour window. Do we want to sneak in before it ends?
Yes, but to where?
I don't know. But
Where
we
would
need
the
to
conch
do
be?
something quick if we don't want the defenses to go up.
Well, we need to get into the highest peak. So I guess top level and just start raining terror with the dragon on our side.
Yeah, and he he'll say we can. Felgos will say there's really 2 approaches here. One, we sneak in, just like we did in Ascor. And 2, that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if we can just drop in from the top.
Wait, what
I just don't know how to get up there without being very noticeable.
And cloud giants are very polite. You're not likely to be attacked if you identify yourself as a friend. At least not initially. I wasn't. I was invited here. It's a royal court. You're likely to be invited inside if you show yourself. There's no one manning the ballistas, I don't think, unless that's changed in the last week. If the castle goes on alert, that's a different story.
Yeah, so it's about to go on alert. And I don't know if I want to be their guess when it goes on alert.
Yeah, because we have a half hour till it goes on alert.
or less.
So, yeah. What do we? Wait, can we disguise ourselves as giants? Like the illusion, not
as a
like
giant,
makeup
like-
or whatever.
Like 2 kids in one trench coat.
Yeah. No, the illusion
No.
spell.
No, we can't change sizes.
Okay.
Well, we can change one size. I think it allows you to grow or shrink one size.
Oh, we can be giant babies.
Actually, yeah, would that work if I took that potion of growth and then disguise self as sensory?
Disguise self doesn't. Your potion of growth increases you by 1 size class, which would make you large. Disguise self does not let you change your size class. It lets you add 1 foot.
And
You
giant,
could be like ogre sized if you did that.
but giant size are two.
Yeah, that's a 2
So
size.
we could be giant babies.
What are giant babies? There's only 2 of them. We only saw 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's not going to do any good to look like one.
That's enough to like wander throughout the castle and find the conch and then run away.
To get to the conch, you have to go. I'm pretty sure you have to go outside.
Can you take us to the top level?
You want me, the demon, to take you to the top level?
Yes, please.
Okay, hold on. Let me copy Felgalos to my clipboard so that I
We
can.
can disguise self as griffins. They're our size.
They're large, actually.
Oh, they are. They look.
Yes.
Huh.
Remember that the state of the rooms that I'm leaving revealed is the last known version of that room.
Oh, they have pumpkin.
They do have pumpkin.
And a
That are
little
bigger than
fountain.
people.
Telescope.
And in the fountain is a silver statue of a dragon in chains. And it's sort of where it's breathing its breath weapon is the water that's spilling out into the fountain.
So they're into dragon torture.
It's kind of their thing.
Seems like it.
There's a chessboard on the southern.
I see that.
And there's little dudes all over the walls.
What did Fogo say? Fogo say the second option was? The first one was sneak in, the second one was.
Well, he meant at the
Oh, so
time he
right.
was talking about going guns blazing, But after that, he said really is a third option: is if you show up as guests, you'll almost certainly be invited in.
And then what?
I don't know,
Then we'll make it up as we go along.
but I certainly wouldn't. Like, I would be recognized even in this.
Well,
But going in as guests when they're about to find you missing sounds like a terrible idea.
Just don't be here
I don't know.
for 15 minutes.
It's an idea, though.
In and
But
out.
we're the ones
In
who
and
let
out.
them loose. Why would we show up as guests?
yeah. See, it doesn't. It
Ledge.
would be crazy for us to be the ones that set them loose.
This is how we prove our innocence. Is there any debris, like, I thought I saw some pieces of wood on the ground in Belgolo's room?
Yes. But you guys have left that room already. But there was, yes.
Oh. Well, where are we now?
You're on the airship.
We're on the airship. Maybe I can use paper. Fern starts drawing happy and sad faces on pieces of paper.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh.
no problem.
Oh, in the art gallery, were there frames there? Or were they
There
all
were
like sculptures or something?
there were exquisite paintings, some human-sized, some giant-sized. Both of which had wooden frames. There
Sweet.
were sculptures. There were musical instruments. There were interesting trinkets and objects.
Okay. So that's one possible escape.
The thing with the other thing with the guest option is like, why are we here?
Yeah.
Well, obviously to play with their famous lawn chess set that's renowned through all the small folks land.
Okay, but I think we need to look at why we're here overall, which is, I mean, to find the conch, but also to help the giants restore their order. So, like, either we're going to kill all the cloud giants, or we're going to
Yeah.
kill the ones who think cloud giants should be at the top.
If there's only one kind of giant left, then you fixed the problem.
How about this? What if we went in as guests, claiming to want to help the Cloud Giants and saying that we spoke to the All-Father and it told us that we need the conch in order to do so?
That's good. We need the conch to restore order with the cloud giants on top.
So-
right?
Felgolo says, I think if I did nothing else, I may be able to create a dragon-sized illusion in the dungeon.
Okay, that sounds good.
But I would have to stay here on the ship and do that. Like, it would require my full concentration.
Right. So I think you should definitely do that and keep an ear out for two hoots of owlbear.
Sansuri would certainly notice, but she shouldn't be back for several hours. It'll be some guard that comes by. They just open the door and look and see if I'm still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you should keep that illusion up until we call out for you, and then you come and help us if we need you.
Like, come help with dragon wings and dragon lightning.
Yeah, that's what it's done.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Two hoots of an owlbear.
Don't forget.
It's a big castle. How will I hear your hoots?
Don't we have send message or something like that?
If you're within 120 feet, you'll hear me in your head. Everyone's dream.
This place is fucking huge.
Yeah, it's fucking huge, but
120 feet does not go very far.
I also have sending as a scroll, which will definitely it's unlimited range as long as I know the creature.
Cool.
That'll work.
Here you go. We're gonna have to burn through some scrolls on this one.
yeah, sending will work.
That's perfect.
All right. Looks like we're approaching his guests.
Fern hands out masks. Each person gets a happy mask, a sad mask, and a crazy person mask.
Mortal immediately holds up the crazy person mask.
Fern holds up the happy mask.
Is it possible to put fancy clothes over armor?
Yeah, there's sort of an armored but fancy dress that you can wear. You know what I mean? Like, there's like nobles that meet in court, in will sometimes wear plate armor. Think about like Jaime Lannister's armor, right? Like it's like super ornate and pretty, but it's still functional plate. You can definitely fix yourselves up to look as nice as you can in the armor that you have.
Okay.
I just cast my armor over my robes.
And you all have fine clothes from the time that you visited the Everwyvern Inn in Tribal.
Yeah. Which is normal. Should we stow our weapons?
I want them with us for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't mind putting my bows in my handy sack. But
I mean, I'm gonna have my staffs on my back regardless.
If you guys would just learn the way of the open hand, you wouldn't need weapons. You know.
yeah,
Maybe we just act oblivious. Like, yeah, we're adventurers, come to help you. We always look like this.
all right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think I'll put Sunder, my giant slaying sword, into the.
Oh yeah,
Into the-
that's a thing that you have.
Yeah, we can put that in the bag, and I'll put.
Yeah, I'll carry a Hue with me, but the sword will be at hand in the bag.
Okay.
I'll put his train in the bag and carry Oathkeeper on my back or in my hand.
And so, because I have Hue, I'll have my shield out too.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Or I
So
should
you
say
guys
my
want to
bag.
land on the landing platform?
Yeah, we take the airship kind of around the front, far enough away, come up through the clouds.
As soon as you come up through the clouds in a way that's not like sneaking, 3 of these bird people peel off of their formations and start to circle around your airship. And one of them comes up close, but not threateningly so, to the top deck of your airship and speaks in common and says, "May I come aboard?"
Fern holds up
Mission.
her happy mask and says, certainly.
Yeah?
Permission granted.
We have this tucked away, right?
Felglos is in halfling form. He's down below deck. You can tell him what to do. He's currently maintaining concentration on an illusion inside one of the sort of crew quarters in the bottom of your vessel.
As long as he's away.
So this bird person comes and lands on the deck of your airship, and he says, "Who's in charge of this vessel?"
That'd be me.
Alright,
Without
whatever.
hesitating. It says, "What's your business in Lenar Mall?"
We have.
Fern elbows you and says, happy mask.
I throw up the happy mask and I say, "We'd like to speak with, what's her name? Sansuri."
He says, "Sensori's very busy. What's your business?"
It's related to business from the Eye of the Allfather.
He kind of turns that over in his head, and he says, "Please land on the landing platform at the bottom of the cloud stair. We'll be with you shortly."
Nice.
Right.
Good answers.
Hey, thanks. A thought occurs to me now that we're here. The Eye of the Allfather is where one of these giants betrayed somebody. So if he hears wind that that's where we're coming from, it might cause trouble. Just a heads up.
So you guys putting the airship down on the landing platform?
Yeah.
Okay. Not too long after you land. I guess, what are you doing as soon as you land? You were told to wait.
I think I would start walking up the stairs. What do you guys think?
I would wait and watch you walk up the stairs. And I would think about what you said about that giant we need to watch out for. What should our story to him be?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't know that he's told anyone else that he betrayed his friend. right? Because that probably doesn't go over well with other cloud giants.
Yeah.
Well, that depends if the side that he's on took over.
But they still wouldn't be happy to hear that they're killing each other. Pretenses and all.
Probably.
So as you guys, so is Mornall's climbing the stairs, or is he waiting on the airship?
I'd be climbing the stairs.
Okay, so you get to the top of the stairs, and there's an ornate gate that you guys had seen before. It's a, it's like a iron bars gate, but the bars aren't perfectly straight. They form intricate, ornate patterns. And on the other side of the gate, walking along the bridge, you see a cloud giant that you recognize. Walking down the thing. He's wearing full plate armor. He has ornate golden bracers that go all the way up to his elbow. He has an intricate rapier slung over like on a hip mount, but swung back. He's wearing a cape in royal purples and light blues that flows behind him as he walks. There's an aura of like a little bit of turbulence in the air around him as he walks. This is without a doubt the giant that you met in the ruins early on in your adventuring career, although he's much better equipped than he was then. Again, think like the cloud giant version of like Jaime Lannister's armor, right? Like it's intricate plate mail that also looks functional. He's got a single rapier, along his back.
Does he see me?
Yeah, he sees you on the other side of the gate. And as he walks up, he grabs the two air elementals with a hand gesture, and the three of them walk up about this far to the gate, and he looks at you, and he says, "What's your business in Lennar Mall? And how did you get here?"
We flew.
He kind of he walks over to the edge and looks over the edge and sees your airship, and he goes, "Do you have companions?"
I think at this point I message. I'll message Fern and say, "It's him."
Am I allowed to message back?
Yeah, I get one response.
Oh god, that's good.
He walks back to the door and he says, "I'm sorry for forgetting to introduce myself. I'm Castellan Drylos."
I say, "Yes, I'm here with companions, and
How
my name."
How many of you? And he sort of plays with a small orb that was attached to his belt.
Meanwhile, I tell everyone on the ship, guys, it's the bad guy at the top of the stairs.
How many of this are there? There's 5 plus how many crew? 7 now?
Yeah.
In the
Plus
airship, yeah.
Foglos.
Plus Foglos. Since he's playing with an orb, I'm gonna say 13.
He laughs and he says, "There's no way I'm bringing 13 people into the audience chamber. How many of you are coming into Lennar Mall?"
Oh, 5. We just need a crew to help us fly this thing.
He brings the orb up to his mouth and whispers some things into it in giant. And then he says to one of the air elementals is some sort of command phrase, and it walks into one of the 2 guard chambers, and the gate begins to open. And he says, "Gather your companions and come with me. You will not leave my side."
Why would we ever want to?
He laughs at that.
Motion of everybody to come up.
All right. You can see that he looks at you, notices that you're all armed, but doesn't say anything. He's definitely like looking up and down at your weapons, trying to gauge how powerful your equipment is. And he says, "What are adventurers doing here in Lennar Mall?" It's like small talk.
I feel like we probably shouldn't mention Eye of the Allfather to this guy.
Cloud giants rule.
Is that what Fern says as she comes around the corner?
Yeah.
He looks at her and he says, "They will."
Damn!
Is he wearing a mask?
Holy shit.
We're working on it.
Is he wearing a mask?
He has right now. He's a little bit business, and actually, that's a good point. With that sort of exchange, he'll unholster from on his back, kind of behind his cape. He pulls his cape back, and he has 3 porcelain masks, and one of them is smiling, and he takes that one out and pulls it up in front of his face as he's talking to you.
Can we see what other expressions he has?
He is angry and sad.
Angry was what I missed.
Guys,
Well,
I
too late to
really,
change now.
I think
We're just crazy.
we gotta. One of our goals has to be that we gotta eventually cause them to use the sad mask. I want to see these giants with a sad mask in front of their face.
Preferably not the angry mask.
Yeah, there you go. Sad, good. Angry, not as good.
My goal is to use the crazy mask in battle.
Yeah, so he opens the gate and kind of motions for you to catch up to him.
Okay.
So should we put our guys out there?
Yeah.
Help!
Oh, tiny.
Why are you so little?
We're there.
Because we're little people.
Where else did you guys drop?
Wait, wait,
Oh, I haven't
where are
dropped
we?
yet. I will drop.
You have to drop. You're over here.
Oh, I see.
Here's Fern. Here's Squat.
Are we good on time?
We're getting close to the end. We have 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, so you guys all catch up. You feel significant wind here just from an aura that this Castellan is letting off, plus the 2 air elementals that flank him. And there's definitely this like uncomfortable amount of wind kind of blowing on you as you cross this relatively narrow causeway. He walks first, expects you to follow behind him, and then the 2 air elementals kind of pull up the rear.
And Pierre's like keeping up pretty easily, and he's looking back as everyone's trying to keep up.
Yeah, he's not moving terribly fast. And
Yeah, but he has giant
and
legs.
so as you're about halfway across the bridge, he looks down at you and he says, "All joking aside, why are you here? I need to tell Sansuri why I'm pulling her aside for an audience."
Well, on a related note, we'd like to see the Cloud Giants come to power as well.
Why? What business is it of yours?
I think the fate of all of our civilization depends on this giant problem.
And
Not
that
problem.
everyone should use
This giant
masks
situation.
to express their emotion.
Roll me your highest charisma check, whatever it is, perception. It's persuasion or deception, whichever one you have proficiency in.
I'd also like to add that the storm giants who are in charge right now have clearly lost control, and mankind is suffering for it. So we'd like to put somebody else in charge.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's good. That's really good.
Yeah,
That is good. And I think I made him fall in love with me.
he's
Bro?
he definitely likes you. He says, "Hey, he tells you, he says, you're so much cooler than the last than the last drow that came and consulted for us.
That's what people tell me in general.
Yeah, you're just I think we're gonna get along great. I'm gonna put in a good word for you for the Countess, and
Pierre starts to.
And I say thanks, buddy, and I kind of like jump up and pat him on the back as high as I can reach.
Yeah.
Who was the last drow who consulted with you guys?
He thinks about that for a second, and he says, "You know, he looked a lot like you." Looking at Marnell.
Yeah, I hear I'm a lot cooler than he is very often.
His name, yeah, he's a bard, and Lorwyn Rylanvere. This countess didn't like him very much. She called him in. He claimed to be an expert at finding magic items. He wasn't able to deliver, and so we dropped him out the moon door.
No. I wonder how that turned out.
But I don't think that's gonna happen to you. You seem really cool.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about that at all.
Pierre mutters under his breath, "We'll see."
That 27 persuasion though.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
Wow.
So he walks right up to the big gates, grabs the two big golden handles, pulls the gates open. The two bird people obediently step out of the way, and he enters the castle. Let me see how this works exactly. Yeah, and so he leads you straight forward to the end of that hall and down those stairs. You appear here on level 1, which I'll take you to right now. You appear at this staircase right here, facing the west. This sort of... Right, you appear right here.
Oh.
He takes you up to the north, through this door, in through the hallway.
What are those splotches of water on the ground?
That's actually water. This room is actually open to the sky, and these two squares here are large drains. Squat explored all of this area earlier.
Oh, got it. Okay.
That's why I'm breezing through it.
Okay.
He takes you through this door, into the hallway, and towards the audience chamber. And in the audience chamber, as you come around the corner, sitting in the throne is who you presume to be Countess Sansuri, holding up a sad face mask and sitting in the throne. And as you kind of come around the corner with your cloud giant escort, she sighs and she says, "Drylos."
Why did I get kicked outside again?
Oh, did I? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I meant to go there by myself and grab your token.
Really quickly, Austin, while we're walking towards this chamber, and especially after he said drop to the moon window thing, I cast Spider Climb on myself.
Yeah, that's no problem. He notices you cast the spell, but doesn't say anything about it. Yeah, and as soon as he sort of enters the chamber with 5 small folk behind him, she sighs and she says, "Drylos, why did you bring more small folk here?" And he sighs, shrugs his shoulders, and says, "They seem pretty cool. I like them. Why don't they tell you why they're here?" And he sort of steps out of the way onto this raised platform over here on the side and motions you to enter the audience chamber. And that's where we'll end our session today.
Oh man, good.
Jesus.
I mean, guys, the 2 people we want to kill are here.
The 4 things around. What are those?
These are bird people standing at perfect attention, facing away from a mirrored circle on the floor.
Got it.
Sick.
I say, it would be a lot easier if you just put a railing around there.
Yeah, so I'll describe the room so we can think about it as we go. This opulent hall features a lapis lazuli tile work and murals depicting castles in the clouds and cloud giants chasing silver dragons while riding rocks, enormous birds. and golden sky chariots drawn by griffins. Marble bleachers hug the walls near the entrance, across from which stand an ornate alabaster throne inlaid with gemstones. On either side of the throne are two life-size statues of cloud giants, one male, one female, standing at attention, wearing tall helmets with feather plumage and clutching mithril-tipped spears. Speaking of mithril-tipped spears, she has one leaning up against her throne. Set into the floor in front of the throne is a circular mirrored disc surrounded by ornate tile work. The throne that she sits in is covered in at least 70 large gemstones, including at the top center of it is a giant black sapphire. And she's looks bored and is leaning in her chair, holding her head in her arm, barely keeping the sad mask up in front of her face with her other arm. And yeah, she says, "Why are you here?" And you guys can think about that for a week.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Cool, guys. That was good.
Damn.
Guess got a situation now, huh?
Yeah.
I feel a lot better about this situation with Douglas outside.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
basically, this whole campaign is a series of heists.
We were super successful in this one. If we just needed to get the dragon out, that was easy.
And we had that on lock.
That's
Yeah,
why you
but-
came, right? To save the dragon?
Yeah, of course. That's Phandelver knows.
But
He
see,
is the
like
conch.
every time we like accomplish one of our goals here, that makes the next goal more complicated or more time pressing. Like
Nice.
whether it's releasing Foglos or killing these guys or stealing the conch, like every one of those makes the next one harder. Unless we just kill the entire castle.
That's what I mean. This would be a great FOPS headquarters.
There are only 12 cloud giants, 2 kids, and 1 cloud giant queen. Easy peasy.
There are other rooms that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're lined, the walls are lined with giants, not gonna be that many.
Can we just kill
Okay.
these two in one turn? Do we have enough firepower?
I don't think so. And
We could maybe kill 1 in 1 turn, but they're a lot more geared up than last time we fought them.
yeah,
Yeah, the Castellan Drylos, the one that you recognize, is again he's in full plate and such. You know,
Yeah, did he get promoted or
The-
something? What happened?
I think my guess is that whatever he asked at the Eye of the Allfather, he was able to use that to advance himself.
Oh, that's a good theory, yeah. Okay, well, I guess we'll see what happens.
no, I mean we're gonna end on time for once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the session. That was very interesting.
There
Yeah.
was.
A lot of it was just like level building, basically, or like
Yeah, you guys wanted to explore in detail, right? And you guys were really nervous about bringing the ship in. It would have gone interestingly if you had decided to like go in there guns blazing, because they would have come up to you and been like, "Hey, you should come in here," and then you would have shot them, and then it would have been a whole weird thing.
and then Austin would have been like, how do I DM these guys? How do I like
guys
there's
are
just
never-
no actual way I can save these guys.
You guys never go into things guns blazing. Honestly, you guys always come up with a plan, which is really
That's true.
That's true.
yeah.
Except
guys
when
are-
we ring gongs.
You guys are you're in the audience chamber. The Countess and the Castellan here. Okay, guys. See you next week.
All right.
for
Thank you very much.
continuing
See
this.
ya.
Austin and Linda, do you want to stay afterwards?